Welcome to Mindless Entertainment. It is I, Jesse Milestone, coming to you on this Friday with both good news and bad news.
I have a really bad feeling about this.
Where people were just walking around, just jizzing force all over the place. He looks like he has been drinking soy from his mother's teat. Wrap yourselves in, guys, because we are gonna get mean!
I got him! Great kid! Don't get cocky!
That moment where you forget to add yourself before the video ends. Welcome to Mindless Entertainment. I am your God Empress, Jesse Milestone, and I am joined tonight for the first time in so long because Jeff has been stealing her away. Mecha Random 42. Welcome back.
Hello. I'm still getting used to my monitors. I'm like, where is everybody? Oh yeah, so I got the audience over there. If I'm looking over there, that's where the audience is.
You guys are over there. You guys are sitting in Mecha's streaming room. What a special place for you guys to be spending tonight's stream. Just in her home, just staring at her creepily, from 2 feet away. 2 feet away.
I just had to put my green screen away now that I think about it. I know they can incorporate it though, right? In Streamlabs or something, StreamYards.
Yeah, there's a green screen feature. I haven't played around with it, but maybe I should one of these days because we have a decent one too. So the Bassman is here, Jay Hando Forrest here, Matt Deckard is here, Matt G is here, Nerdy Gamer Gal is here, Shadzar, Greg Kirby, did I say that already? Cramoff Inquisitor, Davian Donaldson, and others. Welcome, everybody. Everybody is here. Sage Taurus as well. Doran, can't forget that. Where's Anna? Anna's over on the High Council still. This is the Me and Mecha show for now. If Anna wants to bump her ass in here later, I mean, far be it for me to say no to a reunion of that magnitude. We used to have so much fun. Remember when we would do those? It was like my drunk streams.
And they're always impromptu, like 2 in the morning or something.
Right, it'd be the fucking end of my drunk ass streams. I'd be like, "Oh my god, Mecha, come on! Oh my god, Anna, come on!" And then the fucking three of us would just give me drunk and usually what it would be is like you guys would come on live for like the last hour of the show, and then we would just sit backstage for 2 hours talking.
Oh man! And then everybody got busy. That sucks. We're also like spread here, there, and everywhere. So
it's true. It really is true. We are also busy right now. I'm on LIVIT now 5 days a week. It's awesome over there, by the way. I think everyone should come over. I think you would have a great time over there because the thing is it's a great platform that it is designed already for the multi-talented streamer, the streamer who wants to not just show off their craft the whole time, but if you want to have a chat stream and a music stream and a cooking stream and another hobby stream and a this stream. So tonight I turned on mine. You do need to join LIVIT, Nerdy Gamer Gal. I'm going to start the Mindless Mob over there as soon as I level up high enough. Because that's the thing about it, by the way. It's like this happy, loving, wonderful, everyone gets along streaming platform that's like very cooperative and positive. And it also works like a video game. So you get like achievements and scores, and there's like lotteries and all these sorts of things that like make it also exciting. And if you really get into it or you're competitive, even as a viewer, you can get competitive. You can get your adrenaline pumping. As a streamer, you can compete for prizes and events and shit like that. They'll fly you places. They'll give you.
Oh, that's cool.
It is.
It sounds like a better version of Twitch.
Yeah, I think it operates off a lot of the similar sensibilities and the transparency of Twitch about like, here's what we expect of you. And if you do this, here's what you get in return. But it really incentivizes the interaction between streamers, between audience and streamers. Like it's a very community oriented system. So it's nice. Like tonight. So normally I do a lot more music, but can't have the amp on right now because weird housing shit. But tonight I was reading short stories from Kurt Vonnegut's Welcome to the Monkey House, which is my very favorite book ever. And so I just read that for 2 hours, had a lot of fun, got some new followers, got some new stuff in there, and discovered that I think that my new calling is going to be to make short films out of these fucking stories. One of the ones I read, it's been a while and I'd forgotten how great it was. It's called Unready to Wear, and it centers around he writes a lot of future dystopia or utopia. And in this one, humans have managed to learn how to effectively have out-of-body experiences all the time. They're able to detach their psyche, their mind from their body and leave an unconscious meat suit and just float around and live without fear, without problems that bodies come with. except
That's like
that
an easy, better, like easy to tell, as like an animated sort of tale
Right. Very much
story,
so.
especially with something like that.
Even this one too, though, you could do it, with voices and a little bit of a wind effect and stuff. Because the crux of it is when they go to occupy these bodies to go spy on the anti-amphibious people, as they call them, who are all like crazy and obsessed with trapping and killing and taking the amphibians to task, even though they don't want to hurt anybody and just want everyone to be happy and unfettered. And it just becomes this really beautiful allegory for tribalism. It's written in 1953, I think that one was. And it becomes this great. I mean, you're also talking about there are a lot of influences of the anti-communist sentiment of the time. There's certainly a lot of discussion in literature about collectivism versus individuality. But it's just a really, really scathing indictment of tribalism and fear of the other, and the need to use fear to control people. The scathing indictment comes at the end of where and it reminded me of so much of what happens in our society. You look at the social justice warriors, right?
Yeah.
They're a great example. You can't talk to those people or those people or those people. You have to be afraid of the patriarchy. You have to be afraid of Nazis. You have to be afraid of these people, of bigots, of racists, of this, of that. You have to be afraid. No, you just want to tell them to be afraid because fear is the easiest way to control people. And it's the only absolute way to control people. And
well, that's I was on a stream with somebody and they were saying, I can't remember, it was just a couple months ago, but it kind of stuck with me, where why would you give somebody that kind of power to offend you? That's basically saying, hey, you said something that you can hold over my head. You can say or do something to control me, to hold over me, to take my power away from me. It's like when I owned the name Harpy. That did nothing but piss off the people who started calling me Harpy.
yeah, I love
And I've ran with it and you know what, you're gonna call me this, it doesn't offend me. It doesn't what you say doesn't hurt my feelings. It really, really doesn't. I can send these things right back to you. I can send these things and I can own them and I can, say and do these things. And it really, really bothers the crap out of these people when you cannot be offended, when you don't let these things hold power over you. So
the biggest mistake everybody makes when trying to have a conversation with a ideologue, I'll just say, because it doesn't matter whether they're SJWs or whether they're ultra conservatives or alt-right or whatever you want to say. Ideologues, religious ideologues, zealotous ideologues. You cannot approach that. You cannot engage them on their level because they will just take you deeper and deeper down their twisted little illogical rabbit holes. They will always be able to flip it back on top of you because they don't operate under the basis of fact. The easiest way to deal with these people is just to very simply and consistently reiterate the irrefutable facts that they have no answers for, and don't let them divert or take you off topic every time they try to wait. But wait, we'll get to that. Answer me this first. And they cannot. You hold them to task. That's how you break them. They just melt like you threw water on the Wicked Witch.
Yeah, and I've fallen into arguing with these logic things, but then it's no,
that's the only way we learn,
Yeah, and I even with people with personal relationships, it's a little easier to kind of say yes, but we're talking about this thing. I asked you specifically about this,
exactly,
than it is with some random dumbass on Twitter or something.
Yeah, no, that's what I've been practicing and honing in on this year. I am a talker. I like to jump in. I just interrupted you 2 seconds ago. So,
sorry.
But as you can see, I like to dive in. I don't wait for my turn. I don't wait to be asked. It's a bad habit. Lately, I've been getting better about, even sometimes when I want to jump in, I bite my tongue and I listen a little bit. It's actually part of what's gotten me to do this is Jeff doing his shows in the same room as me and me realizing that it would be impolite to constantly interject on his shows. So I'm just always and I've also realized too, there are certain things that I'll feel very strongly about. And in the interest of not derailing his show, I gotta just let it go for now. But what it's allowed me to do is spend less time trying to assert my own will, which is certainly something I have a problem to, and more time listening to what other people are trying, not just what they're trying to say, but how they are trying to go about asserting their own will over me or anyone else in the conversation. And that's when I started to realize, oh, it's all about dragging you down in the mud with them, and then trying to redirect the focus. And essentially, it's a lot that we've seen. It's the SJW MO that we've seen over and over and over again. It's let me berate you, let me hound you, let me push you, harass you, publicly humiliate you, slander you, libel you for all to see. And then the second Gina Carano, you, me, anybody opens our mouth to go, let's say in a moment of weakness, to go, hey, fuck you too. Oh, see, you're just every bit as violent and dangerous. It's like beating a dog until it bites you and then putting it down.
Yeah. I even kind of like call it like jumping somebody into a gang, basically. And you know, like that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to just beat somebody into submission so that they'll be broken and weak and either join that side or whatever. And you know, you're absolutely right. You know, it's just kicking a dog until it bites you, which I kind of, when I get in these situations, I get in these all the time. I'm always saying shit I shouldn't, just constantly. I kind of get to the point where, you know, I never said I was the better person, though. I admit that I'm human. I admit that I'm not perfect. And I admit that I'm going to say things that are going to be problematic from time to time. Always. Like I'm halfway through my life, if I'm lucky. I'm not going to, like, I'm not perfect. Nobody's born perfect, a perfect being. That's kind of the journey we go on to kind of learn and be better and wiser. And some people get there sooner. Some people never get there. Some people are loud and bombastic and just horrible their entire lives. And some people kind of don't understand how pretty much everybody fucks up at some point. Everybody messes up.
Exactly. There is no margin for error with these people. It is their way or you're dead to them. There is no middle ground. There is no room to go, even literally to just benignly go, well, what if my opinion's different? How dare you? Like, it's the greatest offense of their fucking lives for you to think for your fucking self.
Oh, this I hate male feminists so much because they always like to say, well, you're a woman, you have to think this and this.
That's my favorite one. It's
you're a man, though. What the fuck are you telling me?
Let me tell you how to be better at being a woman. Wow. Gee, thanks, dickwad.
I hate that so much.
I really don't need your advice on that one. Now, I am a woman. Let's talk about the last time you were inside of a woman. Because if you were inside of a woman less recently than I've been a woman, then your opinion is not valid here. And oh, right, you've never been inside of a woman except for your mother's vagina, so fuck off.
Well, even like these they think that they're morally righteous and superior. It's like, sorry, we women can't even decide what we all agree on as women, because you and I certainly might have a different viewpoint than somebody like Anita Sarkeesian, for all those people, or, you know, we don't necessarily think and feel like women are not this homogenous group who all think and feel the same thing anyway.
No, I've
same
heard
goes for the gay community, same goes for transgendered, same goes for whatever.
I heard the same complaint from my friend Isaac, who talks about the Black community, and he's older, and he's like, I don't get down for this new generation that wants to talk about, you know, Black culture and Black this and Black that. He says none of these things that they talk about when they talk about that are reflective of me in my life. And so he hates it too, especially it's one thing if you're a person of that group and you want to talk about what it's like to be in this group in general terms, because, well, your experiences are valid. If you're that person, you're valid. Everything is fucking valid. You experience it, it's real. There's no such thing as invalid experiences or feelings. Like, there's no
exactly.
You know, so the whole point is like that. It happened to you, so it's reasonable to assume that, you know, other people who are of color, bi, trans, gay, whatever, might have had similar experiences to you. But it's such bullshit for people in these groups for women to have to constantly hear men tell us how to be better women, for Black people to hear white people tell them how they're not being Black the right way, for fucking straight people to tell gay guys how they're not sticking their dicks in each other's assholes the right way. Like, come on. You know, the absurdity of it is, we should lean into it always talking about it, because we shouldn't forget how utterly ridiculous. We should never give these people a pass and let anybody for a second think that one single person has any right to tell any other people or group of people what they are and are not allowed to believe. Plain and simple. No
Yeah.
one person has the right to tell any other person or group of people what they're allowed to believe. I don't care who you are and who you're telling it to. We all have freedom of thought, freedom of individuality.
And that's something even for somebody like me, because I kind of came out of that little where you don't really think and you just kind of believe that, oh, well, all people of this group are this or this or this. And then you start realizing, oh, shit, I'm an idiot and I've been stereotyping. And I, kind of assumed, well, I assumed I was on the right side of things with some of this stuff. And yeah, some of these people I used to kind of look up to and admire are kind of dicks and are kind of nasty. And I don't want to be on their team anymore. And I don't want to be on this other team either. Because that's not where my beliefs lie. But I can learn and I can be like, you know what? And I'm still working on a lot of that stuff. And I'm still kind of learning how to be on social media without being just a freaking hothead dum-dum. It's so hard though. I'm suspended all the time. They're gonna ban me sooner or later.
I love it. I think it's hilarious. I love following. I'll always follow your Twitter drama whenever I'm on Twitter, because I'm like, it's always the juiciest and it's always fun to jump into. I'm always like, what are these assholes on you about this time? It's always
and it's always something stupid too. It's always something like, well, one time, like one of the first things that they got on me for was that I said I hated the song Hallelujah from the Leonard Cohen one.
Dude, the Leonard Cohen version sucks.
I can't stand any version.
The Jeff Buckley version is milk toast, and I like covering that one because it makes everybody sound good when they sing it, and it's easy to play. But I think
that's part of why. That's part of why I got like out of it, because I mean I'm such a snob. I am the nastiest, most harsh music critic if it's not like the most obscure thing played by some band who only made one album and they all died in Vietnam or something. Then I'm not going to. But no, I used to do a game called Comedy Night, where it's actually kind of what got me back into collecting guitars and tuning and playing again after not playing because I played when I was like 16 a little bit and wanted to be a singer and all that stuff. And then I kind of just, all my fear came back, and I really have to be in like the mood to do it and be drunk enough to sing and play guitar. But Comedy Night kind of brought me back into at least trying to play guitar again and all this stuff. But every single day, you would get up on stage, and instead of comedy, it was open mic night and songs. And every single day you would hear somebody badly singing Hallelujah, badly singing Hurt, badly singing just whatever bad meme song. And I'm like, oh, so I got tired of them real quick.
Yeah, I hear you. I absolutely hear you. No, I just discovered, I remember I picked up a guitar and I learned how to play it, or I learned how to play Hallelujah on it not long ago, a few years ago. And I was like, oh, no wonder everyone does this one, because it's really easy to play on the guitar. So everyone wants to play it. And it's got a really easy, you can like really easily, I do arpeggios with it now. So it's just a good finger warm up for me. It's a good vocal warm up, but a good finger warm up, which is the only reason I do it so much, because it's a nice song. The reason why people do it and want to show off are like, because it has a decent, it sounds like he sings with more range than he does, because he crescendos, he goes up a little bit, so it sounds very impressive. At least the Jeff Buckley version. The Leonard Cohen version is just too rambling. I feel like I never even get through the damn thing. It's just like so melodramatic. I'm like, stop, I don't care. I'm like, by the end of the first word, I'm like, I don't care about the rest of this verse. Also, since we're on the song, I just have to bitch for one quick second. The fucking part in the first verse where he goes, the whole first verse. At first, there was a secret chord that David played in to please the Lord, but you don't really care for music. It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift. I know that's just the Jeff Buckley or the Leonard Cohen too. That's the most annoying fucking. I'm like, you're literally just describing the music you're playing, and that's not a chord. You just described like 4 chords, but it's like it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor. Like he's playing the 4th chord and the 5th chord of the scale, and then he plays a minor chord, and then he goes back to a major chord. I'm like, you literally are just singing it's like. It's like if I was fucking, I don't know, singing you an instruction manual for how to do something in the fucking, like, I think
that's why it drives me nuts.
It's like, too fucking redundant. I still sing it because I'm like, it's a good vocal warm up. It's this, it's that, and people like it, and it's whatever. It's a crowd pleaser. But every time I do it, I'm like, this song is so retarded. I hate it.
And see, I am such a snob. I would hurt everybody's feelings unintentionally, and I'd be like, oh, and then I'd realize what I said after, and then I'd be like, oh shit, now everybody hates me. But because like I am, like I said, I'm such a snob when it comes to music. If it's not like something super obscure or something super complex or weird or odd, or I've got my guilty pleasure bands too. I've got like, but I kind of have this. I have to connect on a spiritual level.
My Chemical Romance is like my soulmate music. Like that's my that band is my if I had a band that was my soulmate, it's probably My Chemical Romance. I wouldn't say they're my favorites. They're up there. They're in my favorites list. But one of these days, I'm going to do their entire set of studio albums. I'm going to sing them back to back live on LIVIT. One of these days.
See, I think for me it might be like, yeah, they're saying the crop circle song in chat. Yeah, that's one my friend found, just some weird obscure hippie in a field banging a drum, and he's got a dulcimer.
Dude.
He's going there. He's like, "What are they?" He's just doing this little. This is just my little fate. It's like a hand dulcimer one. It's not like the mountain one, but he's got like the mountain one. He's just open strumming. What are they? Why are they? What?
Somebody brought my old in when I took mandolin in college. He used to bring his string band in. And they would bring a hammer dulcimer in. Play around with it. Those are cool.
Those are nice. Yeah,
I enjoyed it. The white cat bang is. Yeah, Lando's being groomed, and now he's deciding to use the laptop to help groom him as well. But Jet Sparks 373. If you like Breaking Benjamin, then you definitely got to come over and follow me on LIVIT, because once I'm in a new place where I can sing loudly again, that's one of my go-tos. I sing a lot of Breaking Benjamin. They're one of my favorites too. They're like top 5 favorite bands. But I don't go as obscure. Although I gotta tell you, I should share this with you guys. I have to share. I will see it, Mecha, if this aligns with your tastes or not.
I probably if I've never heard it before or never heard of it, that's kind of like the best chance for me to know.
Sorry, that's making noise. I'm like a dumb. So it's called The Worst Song Ever. It's only called on YouTube The Worst Song Ever with 3 exclamation points.
Oh no.
And, I think Jeff did find out what it's called, but we'll go back and we'll figure that out one day. But anyway, I found it in a playlist of songs that were all considered the worst song ever. Now 3 of those songs are in our regular listening rotation.
Some of those are fun though. Like there's a channel I listen to that just riffed a whole bunch of those obscure little nobody YouTube video songs. Some of those are great.
Some of those are excellent. So let me catch up with a couple of these super chats, and then I'll share the song with you, since I've got quite a backlog. We got Doran asking me to notice him, or maybe you to notice him. So I guess we should probably both notice him.
Hello.
Just in case.
We notice you.
You have been noticed. Greg Kirby says, I have been waiting for this moment. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Greg Kirby. I have been waiting for this moment. M, my 2 favorite YouTubers, are together. Mecha, when is the next cooking stream?
I don't know. I got to figure out what I'm cooking next. I've got so much leftovers from last time. I've been unloading it with people. I did cookies on Saturday, but I don't know yet. I have to see. Maybe this week. I gotta figure out something. I can probably do pizza.
I'm excited to tune into one of yours. One of the listeners has recommended Kay's cooking. It's up on a tab. I still haven't gotten a chance to watch. Apparently, it's just like the most methed out, fucked up cooking channel ever. I feel like you should just do a collaboration with this woman.
Oh Lord,
that would be so funny. Nerdy YouTuber turns cook, teams up with meth head chef. What's up?
But that's like the thing. That's the thing. I mean, I just got to do the cooking streams for fun, and I'm still there going F Star Trek Discovery, and who cares about this thing? And Star Wars has a stupid rock in it now, and I'm still doing the same stuff.
Right.
We're just talking about it while I cook and stuff. So
there you go.
And it's kind of fun. It's like I have something to do with my hands, so I'm not fidgety.
That sounds really nice. I like just having the guitar in my lap sometimes when I'm doing the streams. I'm like, something to touch. What was I? Oh, because Patrick McNeil said something about Brie Larson's latest tweet, so I'm going to go pull that up on standby, because we do have some more Brie to talk about today. Sorry, not sorry. Mary Mayhem says, I believe in the ladies of the fandom menace. We believe in you too, Mary. We believe in you so hard. You were one of the OG men. You were like, after, I mean, look, it goes like what? Anna, me and Anna, and then you and Mary are like the very best 2 women to become part of the, community, really. So.
Yeah, because I came in through like the other, like you guys came in more from the Star Wars stuff, and I came in with the Star Trek people, with like the Midnight's Edge Doomcock crowd, and then everybody kind of converged and crossed over after a while, because there's like everybody likes Star Trek and Star Wars for the most part, or everybody knows something or other, and then all the geek stuff just kind of crosses over. So
Exactly. It's nice that way. And guys, let me see how many likes we have. If you're watching, don't forget to press the like button. We got 61 viewers and 73 likes, so that's awesome. I'm sure we'll get a view bump when the High Council decides to finally end. Greg Kirby is correct. Go sub to Mecha Random 42. Anyone who's a wrench, Elson who's a wrench in the chat, please keep posting her links. They are all in the description as well, so make sure you go sub if for some reason you haven't already heard of her and aren't already subbed. Doran says 4 super chats now. I know you were very eager for us to notice you, Doran. So sorry it took so long. We just get, I guess, like I mentioned at the beginning, Jeff's got Mecha on lock on Tuesdays usually with the High Council, and I get it. It's an exciting show. It's whatever. But it means that I haven't gotten a chance to have your lovely presence here. So after much stiff negotiating, actually, literally, it was, hey, Jeff, I really want Mecha on the show, and you have a monopoly on her on Tuesdays. and he was like, oh yeah, okay, that'd be a fun show, have at it. So
well, and then the Tuesdays used to be it used to be now I've been kind of backing off on Tuesday afternoons, but it used to be like Tuesday afternoon I'd stream, and then we do like a Midnight's Edge stream, and then just hop right over the High Council. So I'd be streaming from like 2 in the afternoon to 11 at night on Tuesdays from some form or another.
That's too much.
Yeah, it got a little much.
I'm like a hard 2 stream a day maximum. Like that's a very hard limit. And that's like, it's got to be like LIVIT and YouTube, which is my Tuesday nights, or it's got to be like a guest and then my own, stuff and whatever. So no, I'm all that. I'm all that. Jay Hando forces, how is SJW's behavior doing not? How is the SJW's behavior not bullying? It is. It absolutely is. Jay Hando for, but that's why you cannot engage with them on their level, because it's not about, because it always goes back to their flawed argument. Well, what you're doing is bullying. No, it's not. Well, why not? What you're doing is worse than what I'm doing. Yeah, but you're the enemy. Well, on what basis? Well, you're part of them. Well, I'm a woman. Yeah, but you're brainwashed by the patriarchy. Says who? Well, you clearly don't agree with us who are not brainwashed by the patriarchy. Therefore, you must be brainwashed by the patriarchy. Well, that logic is tautological and you can't prove it. Oh, well, it's logic, the end. No, it's not. Your logic is wrong. You're an idiot. Goodbye. And but that's the thing, is you have to keep following them on those threads, because the second you engage, the second you just ask that question, Jay Hando, for how is what you're doing not bullying? You ask that question, they'll have every yeah. It's not. It's what you're doing is bullying. Well, no, it isn't. Well, what you're doing is worse than what I'm doing. Well, no, it's not, because you're hurting these people. Blah. I am as much of a person as you are, and me and the people that you treat this way are just as hurt. So what makes you more right than we are? And that's all. That's all. You have to hammer them until you force them to show them the proof that says that their morality is more correct than your morality based on something other than, well, I know it to be true.
Yeah, or I said so. My tribe says so.
Exactly.
My group says so.
And that's how you break them, not by asking them to justify their actions, by reminding them over and over that they absolutely cannot.
Oh, I'll even tell them, well, you're coming to me directly, and I'm just making a video yelling on YouTube about a celebrity or something, or a TV show. Like, I'm not going, like, you're going to me directly, and I'm nobody, and you're saying all these horrific things. So you're clearly worse than I am.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Exactly. Case, the proof is in the pudding. And when people look at that shit and the evidence in a vacuum, there is no tribe to fall back on there. You want to see the shit. People are going to, regular, ordinary people, because the world isn't out there living your little tribal world, are going to read the shit that you wrote that you thought was totally cool to put out there publicly. And they're going to go, what kind of fucking people are you? Which is why people like Gina Carano, when they first decide to take a soiree into politics, they listen, they take some time and listen, and they hear things like that, and they go, "Oh, that can't be right," and they go somewhere else.
Yeah,
that's what happens.
Or they even label you a political affiliation, like, because I didn't really pay any attention in up until probably like late 2020.
Yeah,
probably like October 2020, to be perfectly honest. And even then, I'm like surface level only. I don't know crap.
We're an active, evil, alt-right Nazi operative and have been for 8 years.
Yeah. Yeah, really? Like, I even took a political test and I had to look up some of this stuff, and I'm like, really? Okay, you guys are nuts, and you're really, really bad representation, and nobody wants to be on your team if you're going to be crazy like this.
Right. I love doing the ones that it's like, you should vote for the Green Party candidate, and I'm like, no. You mean no, just functionally no. Mary Mayhem, thank you for the super chat. The problem should never be making a mistake, only not being able to own it. We're only human. Exactly. I have a video up. I'm not going to go into any details, but if you mine through the channel, you can find a video that I made that said something like, I was wrong or I'm sorry, and it's an apology. And in it, I very publicly admit something that I did that was brought to my attention. I was not aware of the extent of the misstep I was taking before I did. And when it was brought to my attention, I rescinded and I apologized. And that video is still public. I didn't take it down because, oh, damage done. It's out there. No one's ever going to know. I publicly owned it and I publicly apologized for it. And that is still there. So you want to comb over shit, and hold my feet to the fire for the shit I've done. You can find just as many apologies as you can mistakes. And if that is not the case, the thing is, I'll take that over a squeaky clean record any day, because squeaky clean means there's something you scrubbed out of there.
Or even the fake apologies that are like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to offend or hurt anyone.
I'm so sorry if something I did accidentally or inadvertently caused any upset or distress or harm or offense to any people. It was totally not my intention, and because it wasn't my intention, I should be absolutely not held responsible for literally anything I say or do. Yeah, they get it about right. 16 that's good. Thank you. Says, what a random guest you've got there. Hi, Mecha. Hey, Mecha, how's it going? I want everything in that room except Baby Yoda and the Porg.
But the Porgs are cute. They have little faces on them, and they go like big face.
They look delicious.
They probably are.
Probably. I bet they taste like chicken, but with like a little of the greasiness you get with duck. That seabird thing. Male feminists despise real women who use their brain. 1, because those women go against the narrative they project to hide insecurities. 2, because real women want nothing to do with male feminists. Yes, exactly. Male feminists, aka incels. That's like, they're the same. The funniest thing is like they're exactly the same people that they want to go and call incels. It's funny when they call Anna an incel, but like the people on the other side that are being accurately branded incels are literally exactly the same as the male feminists. They're the same people.
Or even like the Mary Sue writers, the female Mary Sue writers who want to, like, they're so concerned about who's shipping who and what fictional characters are being shipped with everybody else. They don't realize they're mad because they're undateable.
Exactly. Shove something that squirts up your hoo-ha and you'll feel so much better. And the thing is, and that's the whole, again, where they'll try to twist on you. Are you calling me ugly? Yes, on the inside. I don't give a shit what your exterior looks like. On the inside, you are a hideous monster. Looks. Who gives a shit? There is proof. There's proof as long as the fucking wall of China that shows you that people who look like all kinds of things can find true love. There are people who are severely disabled, who are severely disfigured, who are married and happy with families. Why? Probably because they're good, decent people. Cecil. I've seen Cecil without the mask on. There is no reason that man should be rolling in pussy other than the fact that he can make a bitch laugh. And that is plain and simple. Good personality, good everything. Probably, rich friends. I've Cecil, I'm sure, lives beyond his means and throws the cash at the ladies daily, So I'm sure there's a bit of the superficial enticements there. But I do know a very particular story in which that was exactly the case, where a woman said the reason, she chose him was because he made her laugh. Might have even been his fucking I don't know, favorite woman ever. Who knows? I swear I just hear an anecdote. I was the first. I don't think it was like the first one or anything like that, but it was like someone important. I might even like that he took her away from somebody else or something like that because he could make it. And that's all. That's all.
Well, that's it. I think at the end of the day, women are less picky than I think men realize. You just got to treat them halfway decent. You got to treat them halfway decent, stand up for them, and not be a disappointment. I mean, you can be not the best looking guy. You don't have to have all the money. You don't have to have everything. You just have to kind of get up to the plate and, be there half the time. So, and make a girl laugh and have a brain. I think that definitely helps too.
That's true. That's absolutely true. I actually think that might have even been when the story came out. I think Anna might have told me the story when we were talking about that for some reason, Jessica Rabbit and this, that. And it's like, wow, Cecil had the same thing. So there you go. It's absolutely true. I mean, you're not with Rob for the looks, obviously. I kid. Rob is a very
His rants are up there, and they're
But that's like, honestly, like, Rob, I think, is a very dapper, dashing young man. But he also, like, he's a great, like, that's when you get Rob, you get a whole package. You get someone who's funny, you get someone who's smart, sharp with his wit, and can play the guitar with you. So,
well, yeah, he can play guitar. He's, he's musically knowledgeable. He's not just like nothing, he's not just like nothing there. He's able to hop on a plane and travel. He's got a passport. He's got brains. He's got a little bit of adventure, so at least probably before 2020.
right.
But
Yeah.
you get somebody like him, and it's not hard to see why Midnight's Edge has 200,000 subs, because he's there writing and scripting, and he is the voice of Midnight's Edge. He is the one that everybody thinks of.
That's what Jeff always says. Jeff is like, I always think of Rob as the voice of Midnight's Edge. At first, you're like, how did you figure out who Tom was? Because I was like, wait, but Rob is the voice and all.
Yeah, Rob's the one writing. Rob's the one crafting. He organizes. He'll organize his thoughts. He's really good at narrating. He's very articulate. He's very well spoken. He's very well written. I mean, he's like, if he, that's one of those things. Like, if you just told me it was just his channel, I would have no problem believing he had 200,000 subs on his own, because he is really, really good and qualified and talented with that.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, you flip over to that guy with the podcast who ran his little show with the Stardust Girl, the Project Stardust Girl. And like, we turned that on the matriarchy. That whole Project Stardust, she was coming after Anna again, trying to get her platform. Like, she did the mean things about me. They've got these two, and I think it was the two guys they had on there were like, okay. One of them was like, okay looking. One of them was like older, middle-aged, just fine, of a decent looking guy, like a nice looking guy and whatever. And they were just, but it was just these just no personality, no life, no anything, and just with these four women who again, no personality, no life. Like, even their lighting is bad. They even light themselves to look drippy and drab, and the whole thing is just these condescending. The whole thing is them wanting to tell you what you're allowed to say, what you're allowed to think, what you're allowed to do. And it's like,
sounds like a cult meeting.
right? I'm like, what about the personality? What about the jokes? What about the wit? What about the humor? What about the shit we build our channels on? There's a reason we have these followers and y'all don't. And it is not because, we're a bunch of evil Nazis stealing everybody's, brainwashing everybody. It's because we are fun, interesting, engaging, and we let you be whoever the fuck you want. We don't got to tell you who to be and what to say and what to think. You disagree with me? Great. Disagree with me. I don't give a shit. Tell me how much you hate me in the fucking chat. I don't care. The end.
I think my people will ban him after a while if they get too bad, but it's like, because I think that's the point, is like, if you don't have like a point to make and you're just there calling me names or something, if you're just there saying, oh, Mecha is this or this or this, like, yeah, what's your point? What's your point? Do you have like a criticism, or are you just body shaming? Are you just saying something nasty just to get a rise out of me? Are you just there? Like, what is your criticism? Is this a criticism or just a stupid statement, Like, I was on a cooking stream and somebody's like, oh, Brie Larson makes better blueberry pancakes than you. Yeah, probably. She probably has a private chef to do it for her. They taste better.
Like, how the fuck do you know? Have you tasted them? Like, just because she makes hers in her fancy chef's kitchen with all her accoutrements and like a nice little circle to put around and make them a perfect fucking shape doesn't mean they don't taste like flat fucking cardboard.
Right.
They're as lifeless as her ass in her eyes. Emily says, Green parties are useless. They understand nothing about economics and don't try to hide it. If you don't understand economics, you shouldn't be in politics. Looking at you, AOC. Looking at you. AOC doesn't understand anything. You can't even give her to Emily. as much as I agree with literally everything you just said about the Green Party, to give AOC the nod to suggest that she is even Green Party material is an insult to the Green Party. AOC is a fucking whiny bitch bartender in New York City who didn't like the fact that she had to flirt for fucking tips and wanted to change the system and thought the best fucking way to do that would be to chase the biggest business opportunity outside of her own goddamn city. Even Bernie Sanders isn't that stupid. When push came to shove and he realized that damn useless fighter jet was getting made no matter what, even his ass went out there and petitioned to have it made in his own goddamn state, as fucking politic and backhanded as that was. So fuck you, everyone who wants to white knight for him too. Everyone's a fucking politician. Nobody's a fucking hero. The second anyone, I don't care who it is too. This is not the shit on the Democrat stream, by the way. Same goes for everyone on the other side. The second anybody wants to go on here white knight for a fucking politician, well, not this one. They're different. They're going to bring change. No, they're fucking not. They're a lying sack of shit, just like everyone else. And they're not any better or worse. Well, this one's better because they're more honest about being a sack of shit. That doesn't make it better.
No.
It's an equivalent exchange. A dishonest sack of shit and an honest sack of shit are the same thing. We're not talking about assholes. There's a difference between an honest asshole and a dishonest asshole. Politicians are not just they're sacks of shit. No matter what descriptor you put on it, it is still a sack of shit. Sorry.
That's why I stopped voting 20 years ago. Because okay, these guys are just on the same fucking team anyway. They're out there just trying to score whatever big back end deal to get whatever corporation they're affiliated with priority and preferential treatment. It's like it's not prudent, I think, to even bother with half of it.
No, because it's not us versus them the way they want us all to think of it. It's us versus them.
Yeah. But meanwhile, they're like, oh, you guys yell at each other and go fight each other while we line our pockets and get richer.
Why do you think both sides want us to constantly be pissed off at the other? Yeah. Why do you think both sides every day come out with new reasons why we should hate each other? The second people seem to start to get along or put their differences aside or something happens where we're all on the same page, immediately we got to flip that shit and it's got to go the other way.
There was a sports ball guy was just saying that recently. He said something really similar. Was it Charles Barkley who was saying something like that?
I feel like I
think he said something really, really similar. It was like a week ago. I can't remember.
I think it was him. I just forgot about it. Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. It's Rocky the Intergalactic Woke Slate says, I'd love to see Mannix and or Jay Longbone on this channel. I feel like I've heard both of those channel names, but I'm not intimately familiar with either creator. However, I love new guests and I love new friends. So if that is a channel you watch or follow and that goes for anybody else, bring me up to them. Keep bringing us up to each other, and then eventually, it'll happen. That's how these things go. So that's probably how this first happened too. It was a Jackbox stream, and I think you just invited me onto it. Like we had been chatting and knew each other. Maybe we had been on like a something in the Geeks and Gamers sphere or whatever.
I think I knew you through Mary because I knew Mary first through she would just hang out in my streams, and I knew of you, and I knew of I had been on with Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers once. I had been on here and there, but I was mostly over with the Midnight's Edge guys and hanging around in the Star Trek crowd. And then there was some crossover, and I'm like, you know what? Let's get Jessie on. She's fun. She knows she'd be good with improv and comedy and Jackbox and stuff.
Dude, it was so much fun. I still remember the very first time I was on there. I was like, these are my people. Where have I been?
I need to do more Jackbox ones. Those are fun.
Those are so much fun. We got a Jackbox. We got the Jackbox pack for one of our somethings. I think we're Xbox over here. So we've been talking about maybe jumping in the Jackbox game for funsies. But yeah, tell me more, guys. Tell me more about Mannix or Jay Longbone. I'm always happy to find new friends. Let me see. All right. So let's see if we'll get through these last few before more come in. And Emily, thank you again. Under every rock lurks a politician. So true. Trace XL says, people need to understand politicians do not care about you. Anything that benefits us is a lucky byproduct of their scheming against each other. Exactly. And I'm not even convinced they're scheming against each other anymore. I think it's actually a lot more like Mecha says, where they know that the best way to keep us down and their pockets lined is to keep us fighting each other and not focus on the real problem, which is their self-interested asses taking everything from us and trying to convince us we're getting more than a fair shake when they're robbing us blind.
Yeah.
Doran says politicians should have to wear NASCAR jackets with all their sponsors on them. Yes, I like this. I like this one a lot. That's a great one. And then we've got Mr. Tickle Trunk, who says, when it comes to politics, just listen to George Carlin, RIP. There's a reason politics suck. It's all a big club, and you ain't in it. Very, very true, Mr. Tickle Trunk. And finally, we got Demajanai, who says, hello, my queen. Been a while. We need to link up. I don't know which queen you're referring to on this one, because I know you are equally devoted to both of us. But either way, point stands on my end. You and I definitely need to link up and do something. It's been far too long. Maybe we'll talk soon. Yes, that should be the law. They have to tell us whose pocket they're all in. Absolutely.
Oh, I don't think we like that. I think that would break a lot of these people's narratives and stuff. Have you noticed that when you're arguing with an SJW, if they go immediately to screaming at you or violence, it's like, oh wow, this is like breaking a cult member out of their cult and telling him their leader isn't their Lord and Savior and is a false prophet.
Dude, it's scary. The devotion is scary. And that's something you sort of hit on it a little bit earlier about like moving away and finding new audiences and whatnot, when you realize like, and I have noticed this is why sometimes I'll make certain videos on my channel with certain polarizing opinions that may or may not. And the thing is, honestly, it's not even opinions I think are that polarizing. They're opinions where I'm like, these really should be common sense opinions. And if you find this polarizing, I don't think I want you here, because then your brand of common sense does not align with my brand of common sense. And we probably shouldn't be talking. So, or it's not even about you. I don't want you if you don't agree about it. It's just, if you can't handle me saying something that contradicts your opinion, because I don't need you to agree. I don't need you to watch the video and go, oh yeah, I'm on board. I just need you to watch and go, well, I don't agree, or I don't, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But take at least 5 seconds to look for the merit in my argument before immediately countering it with your own, you know? And to your earlier point, we have a problem on, and this is always a problem we were going to have, which was the second any of us decided to become anti-SJW or to speak out against political correctness and forced progressivism and all of these things, we as soon as we decided to do that, I totally just lost my own goddamn train of thought now. Fuck. It was really good too. I was like on such a roll, and I'm like this, and I'm like, oh yes, no, got it back. All right. The second we decided to engage with this topic, we put ourselves on a tightrope, because the immediate because immediately, right, it's how to, now you've established yourself as being against this group. Well, okay, so all of these people whose identity is solely predicated on being against this group think you're now part of this group, but you're not, because this group is just the opposite of this group, but they all want you. So then the second you push back and you're like, well, I'm not part of you, well, then this group goes, oh, you're one of us now, and wants to. So you put yourself in this very delicate position of constantly having to watch your back and sort of make sure that you yourself aren't getting suckered into talking points that are comfortable and convenient and in your community, but not actually representative of the things you believe, you know. And which, again, once you have community thinking, community projects, you open yourself up to the insidiousness of somebody coming into that group with less than honorable intentions and taking a group that is about, open thinking and open talking and stuff like that, and wanting, or maybe not even realizing, coming into, the Phantom Menace, I hear they're a bunch of white supremacist whatevers, and, run the risk of, okay, how do we make sure that if a bunch of white supremacist assholes pop over going, hey, I heard you guys are one of us, how do we recognize that and go, no, you are not one of us. This is not our brand. So it becomes this really tricky and delicate politic thing, as much as it sucks. Yeah, I can't remember how I got on that point to begin with, but it was basically that. It was basically about everyone wants you as part of their stan, and everyone has a fucking meltdown when you reject their little country.
Yeah. Or even with like political affiliations, they just kind of automatically assume one way or another on something, and it's like, all right, I don't want to disappoint people if I don't agree with them for whatever reason. I mean, I clearly don't agree with the SJW stereotypes. I clearly don't agree with a lot of their horrific tactics. I really don't agree with how they think, how they have this all or nothing mentality. I really don't agree with once you overstep the line, then you're canceled forever. Because I grew up with like George Carlin comedy. I grew up with, he's got jokes about anorexic girls where, some rich whatever doesn't want to eat effer, whatever. He's got like jokes like that, which are really, really pretty horrific and kind of insensitive once you think about it, but they're still pretty funny, and it's
hilarious.
For people to, because I've even heard some of like our community get super offended by some things, and I'm like, with what you guys say, but no, without really gossiping too much, it's just like sometimes you just kind of wonder, okay, what did I sign up for? What community am I signing up for? And I'm not of like this little, I'm not of like the, like I can talk Star Wars just fine. I like the first 3 movies. Great. They're great. But I'm not an expanded universe, extended unit. Like you're not gonna like. It's gonna go over my head. I've aged out of it quite a bit. I understand that, but I still want people to have good Star Wars, because what's gonna happen when you have good Star Wars? I'm gonna pop back in and I'm gonna buy some Baby Yoda stuff, and I'm gonna be like, look, he went over Lucky Luke, and it's so cute. And I'm still gonna buy Baby Yoda stuff. That's all I want out of Star Wars, though. The nostalgia critic has a term for it, the awe girls. Where you have the girls who are like, oh, look at that cute. That's me. I saw the Loki trailer and I'm like, oh, it's a kitty.
Funny. You know what's really funny about that? It's like you have this perspective on it of you're like, I'm an awe girl. I'm the girl who goes like, I'm not fucking going toe to toe to you on the lore and the production facts and the this and the that. I'm the one who goes, Baby Yoda's cute and this is cute and that's cute and whatever. And the funny thing is, all of these new fans, that's exactly what they are.
Yeah.
But rather than acknowledge, like you did, that's what I am. That's how I engage with Star Wars. I mean, I engage with it to fucking ship fucking Rey and Adam's stupid driver. Sorry, Adam. I actually like Adam Driver quite a bit. I just hate fucking
the character's terrible, yeah.
Character. And yeah, so like instead of like just accepting that this is their own way of engaging with it and that's it, the end, and not it's like, again, it goes back to we can't just live and let live. We have to force our ways on you. Oh, well, if we engage in Star Wars as all girls, well, then literally everyone else has to like Star Wars for the same reason. They have to like it for the relationships and the cute characters and the cute moments and the cute stuff that I like it for. And if they don't, they're bad and evil. And it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, but I see some of that sometimes with some of the other fans too, where they're like, oh, well, if you don't know every single bit of trivia about something, and this is kind of why I dip out of fandoms for 20 years ago, because before the internet even, you see people who are like, if you don't know every single bit of trivia and everything and every obscure thing, and here's your test, and here's your quiz, and if you can't name every single bit of lore, then you're not a real fan. You're not a true fan. The Star Trek fans are really bad about that too, because like I'm pretty decent on my Star Trek lore. I'm pretty knowledgeable on, how after like 7 times 3 for the main series from the 90s, plus 3 seasons of TOS, plus movies, plus all this new garbage. I'm pretty knowledgeable. I'm not going to know every single bit of trivia because there's a lot of Star Trek out there, and but you do get some Star Trek fans if you don't know every single bit of trivia. You're not a big enough Trek fan. Oh, you're not a real Trek fan. You're not a true fan. Like,
it's like, dude, if you have seen if you have seen any iteration of Star Trek and you like it a lot, you're a Trek fan.
Yeah.
That's like, I don't really engage with the EU. That doesn't make me less of a Star Wars fan. It's the ridiculousness of those suggestions. What was that bring? But even to like your point too, like even the fucking Mandalorian. I mean, like people in our community got vicious over that. If like over how you felt about the last episode, it was like this absolute. It's like that was one of the first moments for me where very publicly I was like, ooh, lots of people are doing the bad SJW thing here, where they're like, if you didn't like it, you're this, or if you did like it, you're this. And then a lot of people tried to accuse me of doing that, and I'm like, I'm not doing. And it's like everyone got real mad. It's like, oh, you felt differently. Well, you're trying to tell me how to feel about it. I'm like, No.
I like
I'm-
that you like it. Like, even with Mandalorian, like I didn't like the first season. I didn't like it. I even made a video saying, "Was I wrong? Is this better than I thought?" And then I kind of thought about it and like, well, you know what? Maybe there's just it's I'm not at the same place I was when I was, a kid watching Star Wars. I have all of this history, all these memories. I like what I like about, the season 1 of Mandalorian. I just didn't see season 2. I didn't watch season 2. I had people at the end or during the Gina Carano stuff, quite a few people saying, "Oh, well, you said episode 4 of Mandalorian was very SJW heavy." And I'm like, actually, I said one little moment where all the female villagers were fighting against a couple of giant walking AT-ATs. At least I think that's what happened. In this little female-run village was a little SJW. I didn't say Cara Dune was SJW. I said all the other females in the village were a little.
Like all these women, especially that they learn how to like fight, against the Imperial people or whoever wasn't Imperials, whoever had stolen the ATSD and whatnot.
Yeah, that's
they can competently fight against their evil, so much more high tech enemies in a fucking 24-hour span.
But Cara Dune was perfectly, like I believe that she can fight, and I kept saying that I always believed that she could fight. And for these people to kind of go and twist it after the fact, I'm like, oh well, you're clearly one of these marketing people. You don't even follow me on Twitter. You're just using the same tactic to take what I said out of context to try and discredit me on the Gina Carano stuff, which when I was saying they were trying to paint her out as this bad guy in December of 2019.
Oh, yeah.
During the 4th episode of the thing, when she was she probably was been on the watch list long before she even knew she was, because they were pulling off these fake tweets from Jar Jar Not Abrams about how it's a misogynist thing or it's SJW feminist thing. It's like they're pulling these fake tweets out of context from parody accounts to run with it on CBR. Like it's a real thing. Like people are actually upset with Cara Dune and calling it SJW. So they were trying to smear her for something or other for years.
Yeah. They can't be more transparent with this stuff. Like they'd have to try to be. But
we know their tactics. We know how these media companies work. We know that they're all in bed with each other. We know that they write these hit pieces just to place this in the public subconscious. If you say the Phantom Menace are white supremacist enough, it's going to stick. Or if you say, that's why I always say Rewriting Ripley is an alt-right recruitment site using post-hypnotic suggestions and mental breakdown, psychological bullying tactics just to break you down and make you join the alt-right, because that's all they're hiding in plain sight. And I did a fake parody conspiracy video. I've done a couple here now and then.
That's gonna be my favorite. My favorite thing ever is when one side says there are no more white supremacists, there are no more Nazis, there are no more these types of people are blah 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 blah, or when the other side says all of you are those things. It's like these statements are equally ridiculous. If only you could see how equally ridiculous they are.
Like I get there's still some bad guys out there, but it's not the entire country. It's not everybody who didn't like The Last Jedi.
No.
Do you really think some real actual white supremacist in a hood somewhere out there cares about Star Wars? There's too many black people in Star Wars for them. They're not even going to be watching it.
At the end, there's way too much diversity in Star Wars for them to even watch it, let alone be fighting for or against it. They would have hated the first one. Fucking Lando, the black guy in the original fucking trilogy. They'd have been out on that. The second that that Leia sassed Han, they'd have been hard fucking out on that.
Yeah, she's too feminist.
Exactly. Like these, yes, there are literal Nazis out there. They don't fucking watch Star Wars because it's way too progressive for them from the beginning, like the 70s version. Because guess what? The actual newer prequel versions are more reductive and less progressive than the fucking original trilogy.
Yeah, because they're more pro stereotype and they're more
the ridiculousness, the fucking ridiculous of all this like moral shorthand, right? All this moral shorthand that goes on of like, oh, I know exactly who you are because of this one problematic opinion or this one thing you did, this one thing you said. It's like, okay, aren't you the same people who told us all that we can never ever stereotype because stereotyping is wrong, but you're also the same people who love to say things like all white people, but at the same time also you love to say things like all black people, all minorities, all these people. You love to stereotype minorities more than anyone fucking else does. And it's like, that's all you do. The only way you engage with minorities is operating off of fucking stereotypes. And yet
there are always negative ones too that are like, wait a minute, like, what do you think that this? You think that people can't like be functional adults in society basically because of their skin color or their like I'm sorry and I'm supposed to be the one like you're sure you don't think you're superior?
That was Jeff's video on the Star Wars like trans activist day. Was like literally, I think it was his words were one of them looks like Jared Leto with alopecia. And
I saw
fucking cracks me up. I had to hold my mouth not to laugh, even though he'd already told me that line before he recorded it. Because like exactly, dude, Ruby Rose is gender fluid. I am very, very into men, and I would fuck Ruby Rose.
Why label it? Why label yourself? You don't know from one day to the next. I've been watching the Punky Brewster reboot, and they did such a better job using Star Wars as an analogy to disprove this you need representation point than anything. So Punky Brewster, she's got like an adopted son who might be gay, whatever. He wears a sarong to class one day, and he gets picked on for it, but he's also painted his nails. He's probably going to be gay or whatever, and that's great. And she's trying to figure out how do we ask him, what do we do, what do we say? And turns out her best friend from the 80s show Cherry is a lesbian in this version now, so she brings her in, come talk to my kid for me. She brings Cherry and Cherry's new girlfriend in, and they're talking to him using Star Wars analogies. What character would you be? So Cherry's like, I'm old school, I'd be Princess Leia. Now she's the black girl who's on Punky Brewster. So she identifies with Princess Leia. Her girlfriend identifies with, I'd be this one who's the first LGBTQ character in the Star Wars universe. And then the kid comes along and is like, I'd be Yoda. I'd be Yoda. So, even the kid's telling his mom, he's like, did you know everything when you were my age? Do you really want to be labeled? The other kid comes along and is like, yeah, why are you trying to label your son? Do you guys want to be labeled as old people?
Exactly. Do you want to, and that's all, it's like when you put kids in that mindset of like, oh, you're different, you should only like the people who look and act like you. Mm-hmm. Aren't you just othering your kid? Aren't you just forcing them to accept being different? Shouldn't you want them to feel like they can relate to perfectly regular kids as well as different kids or whatever, like every kind of kid?
Why isn't that perfectly regular? I mean, why aren't we at the day and age where it's perfectly acceptable for a boy to paint his nails or wear whatever he wants? And I thought that was like the whole point of this, like progressiveness, was to make it so that you don't attack somebody because they're other, or you don't. But now what happens? You get these activists on social media, these bot accounts, marketing accounts, coming and saying Gina Carano has to put a pronoun in her bio or else. Like, why? Maybe she doesn't even know. What
It's one thing to want to freely offer that information up to anyone who fucking cares. Then you're just a person who overshares. Great. That's like me walking into a room and going, I pooped 3 times today. Like, just information that I don't need to offer up.
I always say that, people are like, oh, well, don't you care about people's sex lives and all this? I'm like, well, no. All right. I guess only if I'm like really looking for that. Like if I'm searching, X hamster or something and I want to see somebody's sex life in front of me on screen, great. But I don't want to just scroll through and know every detail about Amy Schumer's sex life or Lena Dunham or, even Tom Holland. I don't need to know that, because there's some people I'm like, well, I look at Tom Holland and I think he's 12. That's just how I see it. I know he's not, but he just looks so young. But for other people, it's like, maybe I don't want to know everything about your sex life. Maybe you need to keep that stuff private. Maybe you don't need to know my sex life, right?
Absolutely. I look at it as like, and this is fucking, and again, y'all are the ones who say, don't judge, don't be judgmental, and they're different, and they're different. Like all you do is my version is the version in which those pronouns are completely fucking irrelevant until I need to know what's between your legs. Because when I have a conversation with you, when I talk to you and I want to solicit your opinion or I want to listen to what you have to say, it does not fucking matter. What you are, what those are. Now, if you're going to start talking with some level of authority about belonging to a group, probably you should identify as part of that group before you decide that it is your God-given right to speak with authority on it. But outside of that shit, this business of I desperately have to identify myself. Well, why? Because what you bring to the table, what you say, how you conduct yourself, how you treat people, means infinitely more than what 3 words you put after your name in your Twitter bio.
And I hate even like if I'm talking about, like LGBTQ whatever or something, if I have to mention that, how, like in Star Trek they segregate all the gay characters, and here's where I have to drop the LGBT thing, which I hate to have to always do every time I talk about this stuff, but if I don't, I'm gonna get backlash for it. And even though I'm just the B, I don't get enough, I'm not of the community enough. I don't think in the same group think. I'm not, the higher letters in the alphabet, because that's kind of what it seems like. It's like if you're just the B, you're the lowest tier anyway.
Yeah. The funny thing is, too, it's like that is something I have heard from people since I learned what being bisexual was. I learned right off the get-go, because, everyone has the same reaction. Oh, isn't being bi the best thing? Because it means you can just screw whoever you want. It means you like both people. You're both gender. You're uninhibited. You just like who you like and you whatever. Well, that seems like a great way to be and all that. But then the flip, again, from day one of meeting somebody, wants to tell you about it, even as a fucking teenager, it's like, well, not really, because all the girls who were like, I'm experimenting with sexuality or I'm bisexual, it was the same shit. It was like, it's not really, because you get ostracized for being gay. All the guys just want to watch you make out with the girls. All the girls treat you like you're an effing weirdo. And then the gay community treats you lesser than because like, oh, well, you could just pretend and fit in. As if somehow, even though them being gay is not a choice, your bisexuality totally is.
Yeah. Yeah, or they have this new term, presenting as straight, too.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So they have this article from the actress who plays Tilly on Star Trek Discovery. She's like, oh, I'm bi, I'm gender fluid or whatever, but I don't present as gay because I'm married to a man.
Well, Mecha, I present as Aryan, so someone better come revoke my Jew card. Because that's the kind of shit that this feels like. Like, I'm forcing you to identify yourself. I'm forcing you to identify yourself as potentially, I'm forcing you to out yourself as a minority. And I'm forcing you to out yourself potentially in a situation where you did not wish to be outed. And if you fail to comply, even if you are in this minority group that I'm supposed to be protecting, I will come down on you. You will be punished. Please wear a band around your arm that identifies exactly who you are. And if that identity is wrong, your life is forfeit.
Yeah.
So come fucking cancel me for saying that shit, because I just fucking said it. But but you can't, because this is not, because here's the shit, right? What if I want to come forwards and say it is a detriment to my mental health, because every time I see pronouns in a Twitter banner, it reminds me of what was done to my people.
Yeah.
It reminds me of what was
that's
done.
what it felt like to me. That's what it feels like to me. And I wouldn't even participate in school experiments where they were pulling that shit. Like I got kicked out of school because they're like, oh, well, we want everybody to wear armbands. And we have the highest class of people who can move freely. This class of people can only walk backwards.
They did that blue-eyed, brown-eyed shit with you guys, what they did with the armbands.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm like, no, you don't get to do this. There are girls at the school who are pregnant. It was for like dropouts, pregnant girls, gay kids, kids who were coming back to get their last remaining high school credits. I was I had a weird school history, so I was really, really gifted, bounced around a lot, had a lot of advanced stuff in some areas. So I was 14 at the school that was 16 and up. Yeah. And yeah, I'm like, no, I don't want to do any part of this. This is wrong. We know this is wrong without doing this. Yeah.
I would like to read, I know I was waving it around and I got to find where I threw it off to. That book, the story I started with, this story, Harrison Bergeron, if you haven't read it, literally everyone needs to read it, because this story was written in 1961 and it warns you about SJWs before they happen. It's crazy. It's fucking, okay. So Harrison Bergeron, where is it? It's right. There's just one little quick bit I want to read because, maybe it'll resonate. I don't know. Let's see. So they're talking about, so this is the world. I'll tell you, I'll actually read the two pieces so it'll all make sense. The year was 2081 and everybody was finally equal. They weren't only equal before God and the law. They were equal every which way. Nobody was smarter than anybody else. Nobody was better looking than anybody else. Nobody was stronger or quicker than anybody else. All this equality was due to the 211th, 212th, and 213 amendments to the Constitution and to the unceasing vigilance of agents of the United States Handicapper General. And then they go on to talk about the ballerinas that were on TV. They weren't very good, no better than anybody else would have been anyway. They were burdened with sash weights and bags of birdshot, and their faces were masked so that no one, seeing a free and graceful gesture or a pretty face, would feel like something the cat drug in.
Gee, that's what they do with actresses. Oh, let's take a pretty actress and put her in a potato sack so nobody feels less than for not seeing somebody more attractive than them on screen.
And like even on the deeper levels, to me, that's really chilling because that really speaks to our society. That speaks to the stated goals of our current quote progressive movement is exactly that. Is that, you know, why did I just lose? Sorry, I just keep seeing Trace XL keep saying welcome to Equilibrium. I think I watched that so I read Harrison Bergeron in school. Because we were doing a whole thing in English about like collectivist identity, individualist identity, and all this stuff. I think we actually watched Equilibrium in school in part of this discussion, and I really liked it. So anyway, but it's really chilling to me to read that and read about like, oh, let us take away from people who have more, not to Eve level the playing field to make sure everyone has the same opportunities and this and that. Let's take away from people who have more, so the people who have less don't feel bad about having less.
Why can't the people who have less try harder?
Exactly. Or like honestly, if you want to do anything for the people who have less, why don't you just provide them with the opportunities to have to earn those things for themselves, as opposed to you're not giving. The thing is, you're not even giving them more. You're not giving them anything. You're just taking away and putting everyone at the same level of shit to go there. Now you're all the fucking same. Nobody can bitch. While the very people responsible for putting us there are just taking all that excess and keeping it for themselves.
Yeah.
And the thing is, this is the system, though, that's created, right? Because what do you have? You have the poor people that loathe the rich. It's a system. Honestly, rich people love it when poor people loathe them because it helps them stay poor. Because when you loathe all the poor people for all the things they have that you don't, that you get wrapped up in envy, the ugliest and most destructive of all human emotions. And you get so wrapped up in envy. This actually happened to me on various things. I used to be so jealous of other people who owned horses that and would convince myself that nobody in the world deserved to own a horse because I was so jealous and envious of anyone who did, that when I got my own horse, initially I had this horrible complex that I didn't deserve him because I had put myself in that headspace. I had to go dig that shit out. That's what happens, right? Poor people get wrapped up in their envy space and they become envious of the rich people. And in most cases, that just leads them to self-destruct because you create this self-hating creation where you can't now go try to become rich because you hate rich people. So you can't do rich people things. You can't make rich people decisions. You can't make rich people choices because that'll make you like a rich person. You hate them. And then the flip of it is those people who do decide to emulate the rich people and get out, they are sucked into that cycle. Their envy then turns around and forces them to then go treat the next group of poor people trying to break in like shit.
Yeah.
So, there you go. Having Horses by Jesse studied Saber. Actually, horses they were totally separate pursuits, Matt. Horses came out of just being female and reading the Saddle Club. And fencing came out of The Princess Bride and then Gladiator. So, but they do cross over great, and Saber is the cavalry weapon. So you're right about that. Let me try to hit a couple of these super chats right here. I had the one up from Demajai for a long time, and I pulled it down, even though it was the last one there. He says, I appreciate you both equally. You're both amazing. Thank you, Demajai. Trace XL says, the thing some don't get about no true Scotsman quiz monkeys in fandom is we geeks don't like them either. They usually get kicked out of our circles because they make us all look bad. Exactly. Now it's exactly the point. We know likey is no good. Where else were we? Flaming TP, thank you for Tree Fitty. He says, I know what time it is. It's Tree Fitty time. I guess. David Jensen says, which is more woke, Wars or Trek? Hi, Jeff.
Sure. I think Trek is now because their excuse was it was always progressive. So they can throw all of the most insane regressive things in there, like the segregation shit. So I think Trek is more woke.
Yeah, I would go with that too, even knowing a lot less about current Trek, simply because exactly that. It's definitely felt like it can take liberties to address some of these issues even more on the nose than Star Wars does, and more ad nauseum. Like, we escape most of the wokeness in The Mandalorian, you know? So there's still parts of Star Wars that are operating that. And like, honestly, the biggest problems with The Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker, wokeness is in there and is a problem with those movies, but those movies fail on their own without it. Like, you could make Star Wars, you could take all the wokeness out of the Star Wars ones and they would still just be garbage. You don't need the wokeness to make them bad. Whereas I feel like the wokeness is the like crux of the failures of the new Star Trek.
Yeah, I think the wokeness, but with the new Star Trek, they've got like the entire premise focused on one character that I guess can't really be held to the same standards as any other Starfleet officer. They get pass after pass after pass, because if they don't, you're an ist if you complain about it. Like, really? I thought complaining about the ethnicity would make a person an ist, but no, apparently saying that, you know, it's a bad choice to make a character assault their captain and basically serve no consequences for starting a war that kills hundreds of thousands of people. You know, maybe that's yeah.
I hate the zero accountability bullshit. Zero accountability bullshit for all the SJW characters. It's such crap.
Yeah, but they want accountability for everything else. For everything.
Accountability, what except for fucking you. That's it's like, dude, you don't even know what that fucking word means. I want you to be held accountable for that one time you said that one mean thing to a woman once and it hurt her self-esteem for a few years because she was too pathetic to get over it. Meanwhile, that woman then went ahead and committed genocide, but it's the man's fault totally for negging on her once in a bar. Like, nope, that's not how the fucking world works. It's things we learned as kids, the obvious, incontrovertible, common sense-based truths that we learned as kids. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. I was always taught too, violence is never the answer. I was taught that no matter what somebody does or says to me, that responding with violence or even responding in kind is not the answer. That my job, no matter how difficult and trying it may be, is to always strive to be the bigger person, no matter how difficult it is. I do not always succeed, but goddamn do I always try. And these fucking bitches have just thrown in the towel, want us to do all the work, and then go thee the second they see a crack in your armor.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of get to the point where sometimes I'm like, you know what, maybe I don't want to be the bigger person anymore. Maybe I'll just take a flamethrower to everything and burn it all down.
Right? Maybe I don't want to be right. I just want you gone.
I know.
Mr. Tickle Trunk says, labeling kids that early is the same approach racists do to point out skin color to their 5-year-old kids. Let them be themselves. They'll tell you. Exactly. Nobody should be labeling anybody. When I was 5 years old, I peed standing up. If my parents had decided that that meant that I was trans, holy shit, would my life have been fucked. Because I am 1000% female and very, very happy about it.
How do kids? I don't even understand. Like, kids aren't old enough to just make life-changing decisions like getting tattoos, smoking, drinking.
Exactly. Here's the shit. It's like, you're racist now. Apparently, you're transphobic now if you think that children under the 18 should not have access to hormone therapy and sex change operations. Okay, I don't think children under the age of 18 should make I don't think people under the age of 25 should make most decisions without a second fucking opinion.
Yeah. Your brain isn't even fully developed yet until you're about 25.
Exactly. So. Ask any fucking person. Did you know what you wanted when you were 16? And were you fucking right?
No.
I'm not saying that there aren't a ton of kids out there who, hit puberty and go, man, I'm in the wrong body, or this is what I need to be, or this is my. I'm not saying that's not the case. I'm just saying that there's nothing in that situation that means they can't wait a few fucking years before making life-altering changes they can never get back. It's like anything. When you know somebody who's going to get married when they're 16 to their childhood sweetheart that they've met, that they knew since they were 13. Well, we've been together for 3 years. We were dating for 3 years since we were 13 to 16. And so we love each other and we were going to get married. You would caution them the fuck against it. So I don't give a shit if you've been thinking about it for years, how you want this thing and that, whatever. Any 16-year-old trying to make a major life-altering decision, I am going to tell them the same fucking thing. Fucking wait. But
Yeah,
now
just
you're
wait and
fucking
see how you feel in a couple of years, you know?
exactly.
That's kind of the approach my mom had. When I was, like, probably 13 or something, I wanted a tattoo, and my mom would have taken me in. She walked me into the store, and she was gonna be supportive, and then I kinda got cold feet and chickened out last minute. I'm glad I did because, I think if she had made a big deal out of it, I would have pressured her and made her do it. So I think she actually in this one instance, she handled it right to where she just kinda said, "Well, hey, if you really, really want it, I mean, it's gonna be there forever. Here you go."
Exactly.
And then I changed my mind last minute, but that's the kind of the thing. It's like, do you know, like, I don't even know what I want on a tattoo on my body now at this age
Right.
in my life.
Right. That's
What am I going to like in 5 years? I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago.
exactly. My
So
taste
I don't even know what gender I wanna be now.
exactly. I don't like there are foods I like now that I didn't like when I was 16. That's
Mhm.
so many things change about you in that time. It is so absurd to lock yourself into such a major life altering decision without giving it time. And that is not based on any, istophobia, anythings. That is simply just age. That is having been that age once and thinking that I was somebody then and knew things then that are not the case now. And
Mhm.
if there were things about my personality and my identity that I locked into at 16, I would be incredibly miserable now. So much, much smaller things about my identity that if I had locked into have completely changed. So why would you lock into the thing is, it's not like it's going, there's no time limit on this. I
Yeah.
know somebody who just transitioned. She's in her 60s and she transitioned, in the past few years. A good friend of mine tried to come out when he was in a middle school, and he was like, "I'm trans," and his mom was like, "No, you're not," and he was like, "Okay, well, shit, that didn't work," and he just sat on that until after he graduated from college and could go and live his life, and was like, "All right, I'm trans," and like, it was the least surprising announcement I'd ever heard. I was like, "Cool, that's what should I call you now?" All right, Milo. And it was just that thing is it didn't affect any way that he had acted or behaved or was in college. At that point, he was pretty set in his identity. And so, like, again, in spite of having tits and all this shit and presenting as one way, it was very unsurprising to find out that my friend was, felt actually male. Completely unsurprising. So, and that's the thing is that, like, it should have tried to force the issue when he was 14, would have just created humongous rifts in his family and given him a miserable puberty. Instead, he put his head down, had a great relationship with his mom through all that. I don't know if they've been able to reconcile since and whatnot, but certainly, like, had a great relationship with his mom all through college and then was able to go live his life.
Well, and then everybody's experience is different too. Like if you go and live go by what the people on Twitter say, that everybody has to come out on social media when we tell them to.
Exactly.
Like that's everybody's experience. I was watching that gay Christmas movie with Kristen Stewart. And
I
Kenzie
totally
Davis.
low-key want to watch that movie, but anyway.
Yeah, I watched that. They even make a good point. Like, well, how did your coming out happen? With well, maybe this is hers. This is hers, and she, you were lucky, and she's not.
Yeah.
Everybody's is going to be different. Everybody's going to be a different experience. Everybody is different, even in their identity with these sort of things, and the LGBTQ communities can't even figure out a set of rules themselves.
Yeah.
That they can play by. So
Exactly.
it's just ridiculous to have like the handful of marketing accounts decide everything. So
yeah. Emily makes a great point in the super chat, sends a $5 that says SJWs are literally saying we should treat people differently based on their skin color, orientation, etc. It's regressive, not progressive. You're 100% right. You're 100% right. Doran, thank you for the $5 super chat. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune or to take arms. Little Hamlet for our night. Thank you very much for that super chat, Doran. And we have Anthony Scioli says, dang, I relate way too hard to the choose part. I don't remember which choice that was, but or maybe when we're talking treating somebody by like they have like their, maybe it was that or he said, oh, you get to choose which one you are. I heard that one so many times, Levy, that people in that it's like, oh, you get to choose. It's like, do you, like, when you walk into a room full of guys, do you get to choose which one you're attracted to? Like, it's like equally not a choice. Like, it just means that you have more predilections to like effeminate people as much as masculine people. But it's like, and that's like the whole bizarreness at the end of the day. It's the same ridiculousness too of the same community who gets so offended when you talk about straight rehabilitation camps and whatnot, but they want to tell you can choose to be queer.
Oh, did you see there was one tweet going around? Some transgendered person was saying, "Oh, well, if I didn't tell you I was transgendered, would you even notice? What would your boner say?" And then you look at the person, and I'm like, "Well, there is somebody for everyone, but I don't find you attractive, and I don't think a lot of people are going to really jump in on that. But you go you, and I'm not going to say anything mean to your face, but." It was not somebody you would think would have the confidence to make that post. I'll just say it like that. A very, I'm sure they're a very lovely person on the inside.
Indeed. Oh, yeah. No. But well, maybe not. If they're posting shit like that, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. But like, seriously, you can't just demand somebody be attracted to you just because you say you're this or this. I mean,
yeah. Yes.
I'm not attracted to every single man under the sun, just or woman even. I'm like, I'm so choosy.
I'm very attracted to this one.
Mecha, weird not talking to you on a Tuesday. Like
I know. I'm like,
there you go. A little bit of Jeff in your life. Everyone.
I had you guys on for a second, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not on mic.
It's like, oh, I can't talk on this one. I told Mecha earlier too. Like, I've actually learned how to get really good at listening and like hearing other sides of arguments and stuff because I can't just jump in every fucking time on your shows.
My show is a learning tool for everyone. Including myself.
Vicious Archon says, watch Star Wars as a kid and I was entranced in a world that had been created and no political or social views to twist the film's impact, but that doesn't seem to matter anymore. No, the whole beautiful thing is when you can escape, when you can touch on themes that are universal, that aren't confined to the here and now or to one person's opinions or one person's perspectives. But we really have lost that value. Dean J, thank you for the super chat. Message retracted, but thank you very much for the super chat. Trace XL says current Star Trek is an over-caffeinated ferret on speed with a bad case of insomnia. It's so woke. STD indeed. I feel like I need a shot just watching it.
So the first thing sounds like Anna. We talked about her on the show.
Oh, yeah.
We read about why Mio is bad for you and shit and the caffeine effects. So
that's too funny. So Anna's an over-caffeinated ferret on speed with a bad case of insomnia. That sounds about right.
Yeah. I mean, she always tells us how she doesn't sleep for days.
That's true. That is true.
I would never make fun of my friend, but I mean, her descriptors.
So now they're dragging Q back into the mix too.
Is that part of that cartoon?
No, apparently he was on that, but he's gonna be on Picard now with the old actors coming back.
I thought of you this morning, Mecha, when I saw that Captain Janeway animated thing. I was like, I bet you Mecha is crying somewhere.
I'm just so disappointed because I loved Voyager when that one came out, and then it's just gone so downhill. I mean, we're really gonna have Janeway animated like a bad CGI mobile app game, babysitting a bunch of Fortnite skin reject characters who don't even look like they're in Star Wars or Star Wars, let alone Star Trek. Like they don't look like anything. They don't look like anything. They're just these uninspired, random nothing characters.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So do you think they're gonna go ham, or is Q gonna be like their hardcore pansexual character since he's everything?
I think Q's gonna be on for about a minute as a member berry, as a reference.
I hope that's all because he is such a delight. Now, the article, the read I ever read about was all about the next generation with Picard and Q and their relationship and their banter was so good in this. I'm like, I hope they don't try to hinge this season on that because they will just fucking ruin one of the best things that Star Trek ever created. I
don't think they can get him back for the whole season. I think it'll probably just be a cameo.
I hope so.
Maybe they'll fix it.
Shatner won't come back.
That's true. So I have to tell you, Mecha, every single year, my dad was Q for Halloween. Because my dad does not believe in holiday spirits or dressing up or things like that. So my dad would just go plain clothes with us trick-or-treating and would go, I'm Q. My dad is lazy, but he is also a gigantic nerd. Q can be anything, so I'm Q.
That works.
I'm like, I love you, Dad.
And then Star Trek Discovery.
As a kid, I thought he was just not being fun. And then as I got a little older and started watching Star Trek and found out who Q was, I was like, all right, Dad, props for cleverness.
I respect that.
Error 404, costume not found. I'm like,
I used to make a
props
shirt
to that one.
that said I am Error. It's from a video game. For some reason, it sold like crazy. Because it just said, I am Aaron, in a gold game font.
Of course, people like that shit.
Oh, the Dream Nitpicker showed up. Cool.
And so did Go Big War Go Home. He says, why can't we just be different without needing a label for it? Why do we need to pigeonhole everybody? Fuck labels. Exactly.
I don't like the internet because of that.
Exactly. We don't need labels. Just be people. Just when someone talks, listen. And if you don't like what they have to say, go away. That's it. or engage with them if you think you can talk to them. But like, that's it. This doesn't have to go any deeper than that. We don't have to declare ourselves. We don't have to identify ourselves. None of that bullshit. MJ1 Media says, send message with fist instead of keyboard. Hashtag Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai.
I need my fist ready. I've been fidgeting with my lip stuff.
Must get fist. Even if it's a late fist, it's still fist.
You would have loved tonight's show.
Yes.
We talked about sex toys for an hour.
Oh, did you talk about fisting too?
Anna went on about sex toys and fisting and
Of course she
like
did.
a cactus and all kinds of shit.
Of course she fucking.
It was a great show. I'm clearly tired from it.
I can tell. Well, moving right along at a healthy clip. Matt Deckard, the ever popular question: Jeff is black? I know.
Not
crazy.
really, but I can, when I need to be.
Enough when he needs to be. Your black card's you're gonna get put in the category as you can pass for white. You're gonna lose all your black privileges.
Well, he's already a white supremacist, according
to the internet. I'm a white supremacist.
Well, David, yeah, right. I love that. My boyfriend, the white supremacist.
My girlfriend, the anti-Semite. Like, see how it goes?
Oh yeah, my girlfriend, the Nazi. Yeah, there you go.
Let's write a song. My girlfriend, my girlfriend, the Nazi.
Oh God, yes. Pull out my Star of
White
David.
supremacist. Dude, it's like The Odd Couple, except we're cool.
I love it. And Mecha and Rob can write the theme song.
Dun-dun, dun-dun, dun-dun. I want to hear Rob sing it.
I do too. I think that'd be precious. He would have a great like sitcom voice, sitcom theme song voice. David Jensen said, I just got my tattoo finished. David, would this by any chance be a tattoo of one late great Gatsby? So David Jensen, you can sort of see in the little picture there, this wonderful, wonderful, incredible dog named Gatsby, who just succumbed to cancer a little while ago. Aww. And he had sent me, right after he made it, he had sent me the little memorial montage he had made for him with all the pictures and stuff. And I saved it. It was open on my tab for like a couple of weeks. And then I finally, one day, I was like, I'm strong today. And I clicked it. And by the end of it, I was bawling. And I sent him a message. I was like, hey, I'm so sad for you. I never got to meet him, but I miss him too.
By the way, 16-bit mascot, thank you.
Emily says, as someone with a ferret acting like they are on speed is just what a ferret does. Yeah, for the 4 hours that they're awake and then they sleep for the other 20. So.
You look like a furry turd.
Ouch. My friend had a ferret named Nala growing up.
Oh, just like the rookie.
Yeah.
Joel had a ferret. That's why I called it a fuzzy turd, because I think it was.
Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, hello there, ladies. Did I just see a wild Jeff while he is...
I'm not too wild tonight.
Not too wild tonight. I can do a great Sir David Attenborough impression. I can see it now. The narration of Jess and Jesse. Jesse and Jeff. I can't even say my own name when it's justified. Jesse and Jeff, everyday life, like it's a Nat Geo wildlife show. Oh.
The law. By the way, Drew Nitpicker just got into.
And here we can see the Jeff approaching the watering hole and explaining who Dreary Nitpicker is.
Well, Dreary Nitpicker just got into the Mayfex game. He was sending the super chat, so he's excited. Jessie has her first Japanese action figure, Dreary Nitpicker. She has Loki from the Avengers, the new SH Figure Arts release. I thought I could get her into collecting.
Speaking of that, let me read 16-bit mascot. Thank you so much. Hey guys, nice late night streaming. Cheers. Mecha, what did you think of the Loki trailer?
Okay, so I watched it last night on my stream. I just noticed that there was a kitty in it, and I got very distracted.
Maybe it's another, what is it, Flurkin or whatever?
Flurkin. I don't know if it is, but it
that's
was
the only good thing to come out of Captain Marvel. So I will accept the Flurkin, except for the Nick Fury's eye part.
I think Stan Lee cameo is the best part of that movie.
Okay, that's fair.
Because that was like he had just died. Mallrats is a good movie, and he wasn't on frame. I don't know.
So aside from the kitty, Mecha, thoughts, opinion.
It looks cute. I mean, Loki's always one of the better parts of the films anyway, and the MCU. He's got such personality. I'm so pissed at Disney Plus still, though. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't know how excited I want to be. Do I want to jump into Disney Plus after the Gina Carano stuff? WandaVision was kind of a turd, and I stopped watching that, like, what, 4 or 5 episodes in, 7 episodes in, something like that. I got pretty far into it.
There is a part of me, though, that goes, I can't, to me, it is morally inconsistent for me to boycott a media company based on their politics, because my entire stance is it's about the product, not about the politics. So if I'm enjoying the product, all I become is that other side of the coin that we talk about. That's not an indictment of anybody who feels differently. Everybody has their different code. I'm only speaking for what's consistent with my code, and mine says I go with the content, not with the politics. And that is consistent. And whether I like your politics or dislike your politics, I will not watch your content because I like your politics. I will not spurn your content because I don't. And that is my morality, and that is how I operate. Anybody else is absolutely free to do what they want to do. I take no judgment or umbrage to anybody who chooses to boycott or not. But again, it's just kind of like goes back to everything else. I'm just not here to judge anyone else for the decision they make.
I don't even know if I was boycotting so much. It's just it just lets all the air out of everything, just kind of like,
yeah. It took us a little while. Like, we were not excited when Falcon Winter Soldier just started, because we were like, bad taste from that, bad taste from WandaVision, and just like, Mr. Chickle Truck is a court accusing me of being a secret normie. In weird ways, like, I am totally a secret normie, though.
It's not that big of a secret.
Like, in weird ways, I'm like, yeah, some Nickelback songs are not as bad as everyone likes to pretend they are. Fight me, sue me.
I do cooking channel stuff or cooking streams. I'm kind of normie sometimes.
Animals is a good song that I will one day karaoke on my stream. Yeah, cooking channels are. Oh, dude, we watch cooking channels all the effing time.
Cooking is the best.
We made up a drinking game to Cutthroat Kitchen.
Oh my god, we did.
Yeah, we did. Like bosses.
I forgot about that. It's too hot for this.
Mecha, one day when we're in person together, we'll have to play the. Actually, it'll be perfect because it works best with 4 people. So it'll be a double date.
Oh, now
Cutthroat Kitchen drinking.
I'm trying to get like the Star Trek Las Vegas thing. I'm trying to think about going out in August during that, but not going to the Rio, just going to like a better place.
Well, hit us up, because we're always down to go hang out with awesome people in Vegas and avoid the convention.
See, that's the thing. I might pop in and see what's going on in the convention area for a day, and maybe go to one of the panels. But I'm planning, like, I'm kind of in my head, I'm like, I could go to the Flamingo for the same price, have a much better time, have all of the cool restaurants right there, have all the cool stuff right there. You got the horsies over at the Link, so you can play Fortune Cup all night, and I don't have to worry about the Star Trek convention and all those people who are like, we're the gay Star Trek club and you're excluded because you're not gay enough.
Yep. I'm with you on that 100%. I will join you in all these shenanigans, including the going to scope out the cool parts of the convention. Jeff, before we totally move on from the subject, what were your thoughts on the Loki trailer?
I thought it looked fun. It's nice to see how they treat time. I got honey-dicked and screwed over by WandaVision. Mm-hmm. So the weird quirkiness is not necessarily a positive anymore until I watched the show. My problem with WandaVision was it was a whole bunch of advertising for this retro TV show. No shit. And it wasn't even good retro TV. Now Loki's being sold on. It's Tom Hiddleston. How can you fucking not? That guy is probably, next to Robert Downey Jr., the best actor in Marvel.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I mean, I say Benedict Cumberbatch is a good actor, but Tom Hiddleston does a better job.
Tom Hiddleston, I think, is more versatile too. Like Benedict Cumberbatch is always weird. Even when he plays normal, he's always a little weird.
It's sad that Loki. It's sad that Loki had to die, but it doesn't matter anymore.
It doesn't matter.
He's now made his death inconsequential, which is interesting because normally in a comic book they'll bring it back a character, they'll give you some bullshit. We've never had such an elaborate. Because he's like, Agent Coulson. They just kind of fucking...
You know what would be the one nugget? This is my one little fan thing that if they do this in the show will make me very, very happy. And I acknowledge this is a personal pet peeve fan thing. I have never been able to let go of Loki's death in Infinity War. I do not think it did him justice. I think it was a bullshit death. So if they, some point in the series, address that and pull because they could pull he just let himself die in that timeline because he likes what he's doing here better. This is a better solution for him. This is a better outcome for him. I will be so happy if they put that in there.
I hope they don't, because I like the bittersweet knowing, like, you know what I really hope happens? I hope he has to go back to his timeline and die again. That's not me trying to be a dick, but it's kind of like Terminator. You gotta
fix everything. Well, that actually could
he
be
really isn't a bad guy anymore. He's more of a hero.
That honestly becomes an interesting, and it will ultimately justify that death for me in a way if they build something like that, where it's like the whole crux of the show could be about, well, we have to fix this, and that of course culminates in him, reverting to his original timeline and him trying to find his way out of it, but eventually coming to terms with the fact that he has to.
How much do you think we'll see Renee Russo be the voice of reason again? Remember how in Infinity War or in Endgame when she talks to Thor?
Yeah.
I bet she has a moment like that with Loki. Because remember how they had that moment in Thor: The Dark World?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when he was in prison and she kept seeing him and she was like the only one, and when she died, all that. I bet he'll go have a moment with her.
I wouldn't
that'll
surprise
probably
me.
be what sends him back on the path.
That is a great recurring theme, I think, in the Thor portion of Marvel.
Thor's got a good section of had a good section of Marvel. Suck it, Tico.
Until what's her name? They're gonna give it to what's her name, and she's gonna like not even earn anything. She's just gonna, and now I'm Thor.
We had to watch Thor repeatedly unearn that which we had watched him earn and have to re-earn it over and over. And even in the process of re-earning it, gain the humility to even not feel worthy of it. And so now we're just going to watch some bitch waltz down the street and go, I'm powerful now, hammer time, bitch. Like,
what is it, MCM?
I guess so.
Can't touch.
I gotta say, I like Owen Wilson for this. Like, I was surprised to see him in it, but I like his brand of like humor and stuff with the Loki character. I think it will balance well.
That dryness
that
he does. You know who else could have done it? His brother.
Yeah.
Luke Wilson. They could, this role that they're playing, actually, I would have liked Luke Wilson more. I think he's a better actor. I think Owen Wilson plays the same, but he's just a bigger deal.
I think Owen Wilson I think that was true, but I do think Owen Wilson actually, as he's gotten older, has gotten more interesting and more versatile.
I like it. The thing is, I really like them both. Even like the shitty, like big budget Owen Wilson generic blockbusters. Like I've never seen the Google one, but like Wedding Crashers, I swear by Wedding
I think
Crashers.
Luke Wilson is one of the most underrated actors, though, because he can do everything that Owen Wilson can. He can do some things better than Owen Wilson can, and yet he's like the forgotten Wilson.
He's the guy.
He's off on the other show, right? He's off on the Supergirl, Stargirl. Stargirl's what it is.
He might be
on DC, right?
Because he was for a minute. He was in like that 70s show. He's doing tons of movies. Like
for a hot minute, he was the it thing. Like the time when he was
the
same time when he was in Legally Blonde, he was like literally everywhere. I mean, he's the fucking guy in the biggest chick flick. Dude, he's literally everywhere.
Saw Old School yet?
Not yet. No.
He's the lead. He plays Mitch,
and he's that. He can be the romantic guy. He can be the comedic guy. He can be the action guy.
You know who he's like in that movie? He's a lot like the narrator from Fight Club. He's this reluctant cult leader.
Yeah, I could see him doing that role really, really well.
Mitchapalooza. That movie's fucking amazing.
I would enjoy that. Where were we in the super chat land? Do. All right, here we go. Oh, yeah.
These are fun ones though.
They are. Oh, here we go.
This is why I said they're fun.
Jerry Diverkus is so totally random. I have a suspicion that Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers is Ron Howard's bastard. Or the banjo kid from Deliverance. Prove me wrong.
I can prove you wrong. He's the Pancakes kid from Cabin Fever.
Yes! Pancakes!
Mecha, have you seen that movie?
No, I don't think so.
You would love it. It's fucking retarded camp.
It's about these college kids that go to to a cabin in the woods, but they drink contaminated water. And so it's about how they all literally fall apart. Like this guy's dead body goes into the reservoir and it just devolves, and it's funny. It's like meta, like Scream.
It's so ridiculous.
That's hilarious.
I think you would really enjoy it.
That's a top 10 favorite horror film for me.
Ooh, Hadas wants to start a podcast about horror novels. She wants to talk to Nick too. She's like, I want to get as a guest sometime. She's like, I think you've read me on Facebook once, and I'm like, you should go talk to.
I should talk to Nick. Also, she should talk to my friend Dixie and my friend Veronica, because Dixie is now a horror actress. She was somebody who was like a fan, and then they're like, hey, we're gonna do whatever footage, and then they remade this movie called Crazy Fat Ethel, and it took off. So now she's this like plus size fucking horror lady. And then Veronica, I'm on Peacock looking through the horror movies. This movie Lake Alice pops up. That was her movie. She won an award. It went to Sundance. Like,
no way.
She was like legit making movies, and then something happened. She got sick and she had to pull back. But Milwaukee is like a pretty decent film scene. They get a lot of big stuff that comes through. She works with Sean Astin.
I remember that. I remember the Sean Astin dick story. Of all the celebrity dicks to see.
Oh no.
Not the one I'd pick.
I would pick none.
Emily says Nickelback is not too far from where I live. There you go.
It's too close.
Also a Canadian, Sean Ashmore. Mega, you're familiar with Sean Ashmore, right? The actor? No!
I don't think so.
Iceman from
Mecha.
X-Men.
Okay. Look, we got to take it. Did you ever watch the Animorphs TV show?
No.
I'm sorry. It was great. So I was introduced to him as Jake from the Animorphs. He was my first celebrity crush. And then he played Iceman in the X-Men movies.
Okay.
He's been in some horror movies. He was in Frozen. He was in that one, The Ruins we just watched.
He's really good in horror movies.
He is really good in horror movies. He plays like this great, like sort of every guy kind of whatever. And he dies in every fucking one because he's too generic to live.
So he's basically Sean Bean.
And yeah, right.
American
He's
Sean
oh
Bean.
my God, he's
Sean
Canadian,
Bean, Sean Ashmore, sorry.
Canadian Sean Bean.
I mean, North American Sean Bean.
There you go. North American Sean Bean. And now he's on The Rookie and he plays a lawyer. But I saw some interview. It was like, oh, Sean Ashmore reflects about the Animorphs. And I put it back on. I'm like, there's a reason this man was my first celebrity crush. And while he is a little bit soft for me to, as someone I'd want to pursue nowadays, especially with this hunk of man right next to me.
Thank you.
God, those eyes. So I decided that I'm challenging Anna's Henry Cavill simp with my own Sean Ashmore simp. Let me pull up a good Sean Ashmore.
Maybe she's gonna see him and go, "Oh, that guy."
Yeah, I'll be like, "Oh, that guy. I've seen him."
He's an X-Men.
I just never remember anybody's name or anything. So anymore. And like unless it's some like obscure, some weird something that I don't know, but. Or that I would know just randomly off of some random like.
So this is Sean Ashmore.
Okay.
And he's really pretty. See how pretty he is.
He looks tired there.
He just looks.
This is probably this is funny. I kind of do the same thing only to Rob, but I'm like, see this person on YouTube that I'm watching who's not you. He's so pretty.
And he was like, thanks. Oh, dude, I was on LIVIT and there's this versus thing, which is really fun. People can just like randomly verse you. And so it's like chat roulette. It's literally just chat roulette built into this fucking app, but it's all other, professional live streamers that you're matching with. But it's otherwise literally chat roulette. And there's like this weird guy that just plays Middle Eastern music on it the whole time. Sometimes then you match with them. I was talking about it to the other guy I matched with. And we're like, yes, that guy's so weird. I matched with this random like actor, musician, super hunk guy from fucking India. And like, he's like, oh, you're a musician too. So we matched a couple times, like kept chatting with him. And so we played a little bit of songs. And so he whips out this part of a song. My friend Lindsay's in the chat and she's like, I love you. She's like, I followed him on Instagram now, but it's too weird to talk to him. So she's like, totally chasing. I'm like, you should. This guy was a hunk of man. You should go after him. Absolutely. He liked himself a little too much for my taste, but which is funny to say because I'm with you and you like you like that's what it is though. You meet guys and they're like
meet guys, but
and they have that huge no one likes them more than they like themselves, right? I'm not gonna say Jeff doesn't have a very high self-opinion.
Nobody likes me more than me. Just fucking say it.
But the thing is, it's all warranted. You give yourself appropriate credit for being as amazing as you are.
Sometimes I'm too humble.
Ha ha ha! Hilarious.
Rob's getting jealous in chat now. I'm surprised he's still up. It's probably 2 a.m. where he's at.
Ooh, David Jensen said, no, not yet. Well, if that one does happen, I definitely want to see that one too. He says, Tat is the 1925 Phantom of the Opera. I'll post pics of it tomorrow on my Instagram.
Probably be pretty baller.
That sounds really cool. Please do. I'm going to take a look.
I'll follow David Jensen on Instagram if he follows me back.
I'm sure
I'll follow Matt Deckard too. Actually, I follow Matt Deckard on social media. He's fun.
Matt Deckard is fun. Have you engaged with the Deckard yet at all, Mecha?
Oh yeah. I know Matt Deckard.
Oh, good. He's good peeps. I've actually met him a couple times out here. So way back before pre-stuff, we did karaoke a few times.
I'm not sure if I've ever been on stream with him yet. I think I have. There's some people like that, like that's what I love about the community is like you'll know people who have like a wrench in one channel, or you just know the same people from chat room to chat room, like Dr. Coffin Nails or somebody.
Right.
The first person I met in person from the whole Fandom Menace stuff. So
Dr. Coffin Nails is great.
Dr. Coffin Nails.
Ask him.
I got to meet him at a Ghost concert.
Comic.
That sounds cool. This is a
cube of hair.
Yes, this is my cube of Lando hair that I pulled off of. I'm making it into a little cube.
You're weird. I like that.
Jury Nitpicker says, OMG, I'm so hooked. I can't stop posting them. Mafex Spider-Man, Venom, Carnage, and New Batman, hands down my favorite. Comic accurate as hell. Have you guys seen the Yamaguchi Norm Mafex Joker? I need it.
Jury Nitpicker, which Spider-Man do you have? Because there's two Mafex Spider-Mans. I have both. I have Comic Paint and I have Regular. Regular is the superior one, the superior Spider-Man figure, but Comic Paint's legit. It's the one that just looks like the illustration. But yeah, man, Mafex, you'll go broke if you get invested in them like I do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know it's more expensive. Hot Toys is the top.
Yeah.
I don't like everything they make, though.
Uh-huh.
They're the ones that do Batman that we get.
Oh, gotcha. I see. I'm learning slowly more and more.
Here's the cool thing about dating Jessie. If you're a collector, you want a girlfriend like Jessie because she's supportive. I bought a Michael Myers doll because I thought it looked cool, and she goes, I can't wait till it gets here. She never goes, we don't have space for this, or do you need that? Never once, ever in our entire relationship have I ever been.
In spite of us actually not having.
We don't have enough space. I bought
like, whatever.
I have a statue of the Rock.
It's a giant fucking ass box.
She doesn't complain. She's awesome. So, folks,
the best part about my favorite part about the Rock box is how much less room it would take up if we could take it out, but there's just nowhere in this apartment we can safely put it right now.
If we had enough space in the car, I would drive it back to Ohio and leave it there for a couple years. I'm not ready for it. Okay, I can't have cats.
They'll break it. They'll be like, "That is that a toy?" Bop.
Mecha, this is $900.
Yeah, property manager already broke my
Jabba the Hutt.
Jabba.
Yeah, they might just open the door and knock over the Rock on principle because he's not
God
white.
knows. Yeah, probably.
That's how this building operates.
Yeah, seriously. Apparently, not white, not allowed. It probably didn't help that we introduced so many more black cats too. Yeah.
But Jury Nitpicker, if you're on social media, find me on Instagram, man. Me, Jeff Hicks. I post pictures of some old toy collections as well as artwork. So if you're looking for a way to connect, that's a good place to connect. Join our Facebook group. I don't know your real name. Wouldn't ask you to dox yourself, but yeah, man. Find a way to connect. Also, reach out to Salvador from 2 Cent Toys. Dude knows his shit and always produces great content.
Also, momentary product plug for $0. This is called Hands On. It's one of these grooming gloves that actually does kind of work. I have varying success with how much it traps the hair down. Lando's kinds of flies away, but that's what I'm not just patting my cat with a glove like a weirdo. It is a shedding glove.
Yeah, when I had a glove like that, there was one that worked and one didn't.
Yeah, I had a couple of the wider pad ones, and they've been and they don't trap anything. This one, because all 4 cats have vastly different coats, so it just different cats.
Chip Pancakes got the best coat because it doesn't shed.
He sheds the least. He's got the crappiest, shortest little coat, and he barely sheds. There you go. Look at this fucker
He
go.
was spending the high council with me in the bathroom.
Oh, of course he was.
Feeding
Keeping you company and getting the secret treats. Scamming for snacks like a little you. There we go. Jury Nitpicker. What was your purchase here? He
I
says,
think it's Blue Batman too.
P.S. Jeff, I bought the blue Batman too.
Jesse likes that one. That's one with the giant cape.
Oh, I love that one. That one's so cool.
Oh, also, I forgot to mention this one, Jury Nitpicker. I have Batman from the Dark Knight Returns, the gray and black suit. So, yeah. I can't. They're just perfect. If you were an action figure nerd, you guys would understand.
Well, we will be one day. What do I feel like? I feel like I missed a super chat somewhere in here because I feel like I didn't read the name. I was like, I know I saw a name of somebody on here. And I did. Okay. I just don't know if I ever read. I've read the super chat. I don't know if I ever read the name Vicious Archon. So I did read your super chat, Vicious Archon, the $10 one about Star Wars not having politics. So I hope you did hear that. But I just realized because I saw you say something in the chat and I was like, I never said that name out loud because I didn't know how to pronounce it and I would have remembered stumbling over it. I just wanted to throw that out there so no one feels neglected. Moving right along. June Wong says Owen Wilson for Adam Warlock.
Maybe 25 years ago. Honestly,
too old.
Yeah, I mean, I like the older look they're embracing with him in the Loki movie, but yeah, he's at that age where when an actor does that, when they come out gray and shit like that, they've acknowledged that they're at the age where they can no longer get away with playing younger. So
if what's his face? Nathan Fillion was younger, he'd be a guy I'd be like, he should be in every superhero movie.
Literally everyone.
He should be the Green Lantern. He should be somebody in Marvel.
Dude.
But I don't still think you could put it on him anymore. You could put him as a character like a Shield guy or another kind of.
But you can definitely see his age too.
Well, I don't even think actually it's like too late to establish him.
To establish him as
anymore.
one of these guys
Like
in
his
the world, yeah.
To me, his career is a lot like a Bruce Campbell, where he's big in some fields, but he never had
that
A-list crossover like he
which is
deserved.
too fucking bad because he really did deserve it too.
He's a much bigger star than Bruce Campbell.
He's such a talent, I think.
I would pay money, obviously, because they have to pay for it to watch it, but I'd love to see Bruce Campbell, Nathan Fillion, father-son role, even though they're close to the same age.
Oh my God,
that would be the absurdity of it.
That would be hilarious. I would love
Or just
that.
like a buddy comedy or something,
Yeah.
like a cop movie or something.
I would love. Oh God. Yep. You could pull a he marries Nathan Fillion's way older mother and then tries to be a father figure in his life.
And Danny DeVito's grandpa.
Oh my God. I would watch. I'd
She's a whore.
She's a whore. A whore. A dirty, rotten
Whore. Whore. Roxy, you're a good whore. You service my heart as well as my crank.
Jeff is making me watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I say making very loosely. I'm enjoying the show. It's good fun. And now my Philly accent's just coming back in strength. Douglas March says, has Jeff seen anything they are releasing? Jeff seen they are releasing Jackson, a Green Rabbit Man from Marvel 70s. Star Wars run as a Black Series action figure.
Is it Doug that said that? You know,
Douglas
Doug,
March.
I saw that. There may have been a time where I had it in a cart but didn't pre-order it. I got to give them credit. They're doing a line of Star Wars figures based off comics and EU. So like Luke Skywalker in like this weird all-black Jedi fatigue outfit that was never in the movie, but it's in the comic. It was fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson's one of those characters too.
Mr. Tickletrunk says, apropos of nothing, can we all just take a moment to reflect on how good a show and unsung hero of sci-fi writing Babylon 5 was? That is all. Yes, we can.
That's you.
Absolutely.
We absolutely can. That'll be one of our next time we have time to jump into a new show. I got halfway through before me and my ex broke up. But Jeff hasn't seen it yet. So we definitely are going to take that journey.
I think everything I bought at Star Trek Las Vegas was Babylon 5 merch.
Who's your favorite character?
Lando Malari is so good. I love him so much. Ivanova's great. Just every character is so well written. You know, from Mr. Morden's great. Anytime you bring in a Star Trek actor, they're great.
I agree. I love Andreas Katsoulis as Jakar. I fucking love Jakar. He's probably my favorite. It's probably him.
Is he the bald guy?
He's the alien with the spots and stuff. The actor,
Is he the black guy?
No.
Okay, I'm thinking about
but
Stargate's black guy with the weird diamond thing in his head. My bad.
Oh yeah, no.
Stargate's good too, though.
That's one I still have to see. But yeah, no, I loved Ivanova and Garibaldi. I think are two of my favorites as well.
Garibaldi's so good. See, once you start naming off characters in Babylon 5, you know, you think, oh, this is my favorite. Oh,
and I gotta say, like, I loved Sinclair, and I didn't think it was gonna. I was like, I'm never gonna like this new guy nearly as much, and it like didn't take me more than a season to be like, oh, I'm on board.
Oh, Charity gets so good, and the Sinclair stuff, without spoiling it, it's just so. But the Sinclair stuff, he's so. He feels kind of out of place once you go through and you watch the whole entire series.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm already feeling that. Like, at first I was excited when I was told like, oh, he does come back, he does have a role. They follow his arc even, and I heard like the guy, my ex was very knowledgeable about it. So one of the cool things was just getting to hear a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, like about how he and Garibaldi had the huge falling out in between and wouldn't work together, and they kept him, and so I was excited. I was like, oh, he's still gonna be around and all that. But even just the couple times he's shown up now, and I'm like in season 3, I think was where I was. It's like he's still whatchamacall. He already feels like I don't miss you anymore. Like I'm on to Sheridan's story now. Like I don't miss you anymore. We don't need this. But God, do you want to talk about great, strong, powerful female characters? Susan Ivanova is a baller and a half, and she is a good, well-written, well-designed, tough female character. Oh, nice.
It's behind my monitor. Just stand up. And then, of course, the other one I got right behind. See, I keep these in my eyesight. Yeah. Just the only ones I have. I need more. I need the rest of them. I love the ships. I love everything about it.
Anna has Londo.
I love Londo. Yeah, I love the world building, the aliens, the races. I had a car that had Zaha Doom on a license plate because it was a black spider for the for the shadow ships and stuff.
I love it. That's
Uh,
I love the design of the shadows as dated as all the special effects are, and even looked as soon as they were released. I'm sure the shadow ships are cool. I like that. I love the whole concept too.
And I love how they incorporate, like, okay, here's your human, you know, you need a human computer basically to plug in and as your CPU for the ship. I love how they did that. Like, that was one of my favorite things. Like, Babylon 5 was so complex. It was intelligent. It wasn't like talking down to you like you're a child. It's like, here's a whole bunch of stuff that grown adults actually give a crap about. And yeah, there's some big political plays behind the scenes. It's like what Star Wars Episode 1 should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got all the politics. It's got all of the, you know, basically you're in all these ambassadorial meetings with these bickering nations. But it's good. It's well done. It's fascinating. The characters you give a crap about.
Exactly. You know, the politics element of it is fun. Like the Londo and Jakar's relationship is one of the most fascinating, and the way they develop it too, it's so unexpected. Like the gravitas they'll add to these characters. Like they'll start with things that seem lighthearted, or characters that seem lighthearted, and they'll add their ambitions and have their ambitions. You know, they do things and it changes how they are and how they interact, and the politics of the universe get involved and invested in ways that like really add depth and weight to all the decisions that these characters make. I think you're really, really gonna enjoy this when we dive into it. It's like, I'm not gonna beat it to death
clips,
and whatnot.
I will laugh at how dated it is.
Oh, the special effects are always hilarious.
In the 90s,
you forget it though.
I just instantly laugh at, because they're obviously low budget, but they're like, from what we looked at Babylon 5, it's like a weird historical thing that they'll try to like.
The nice thing about it, like Mecha says, you'll forget it. You'll always be drawn to the eyesore of the ships and the CGI and stuff in space, but the weirdness of that, like, oh, let's blend historical looking things to make them future and whatnot, it integrates well. It integrates in a way that I think does feel as a Star Wars-y kind of feel, even though it's a much lesser budget.
Yeah.
You know? And yeah, it is sad and weird how much of the cast and crew of Babylon 5 is dead in real life.
Yeah, they that had a curse to it. I think that's one of those shows that they think they could do a whole True Hollywood story, the curse of the Babylon 5 crew and cast.
It's funny because in the show, there's a purported curse on the Babylon projects too.
Yeah.
Episode devoted to that. So I just think that's a great episode. Actually, that's the one that's like still stands out to me as like, oh shit. Mr. Tickle Trunk says Sinclair feels out of place because the actor was going through a huge breakdown. He was seriously mentally ill. Watch her making a fist in scenes. Yeah, well, that was the whole thing. Was he had a huge breakdown after the first season that was. And there was a huge fight and falling out with him and the actor who played Garibaldi that was involved and wrapped around that. And so part of the reason I think probably to go with Garibaldi over him was the like trusting that he was going to be the more stable choice in the long run. Although he's dead too. And the guy you play, like Peter Jurassic's dead. Andreas Katsoulis is dead. Like so many of these guys are fucking dead. It's like, it's weird.
Yeah, the doctor.
Yeah, the doctor dead.
He was like the first person to pass away, I think.
He was
so young and in shape too.
Yeah, because he was one of the weirder ones. He was one of the more mysterious, like the more like, oh God, maybe there is a curse. I love you too, sweet baby. I love you too. Oh, finally, after all these hours, I've been meaning to share this with you since forever, but then I totally forgot. Mecha was mentioning that she only likes weird, obscure songs that are like kind of different.
Sometimes.
I've never heard anything like this, Mecha.
Things you wouldn't have experienced any other way.
I'll put money on that.
So I wanted to share with you this new song that it's listed as the worst song ever with 3 exclamation points. But I find it just completely preposterous because, as you will hear, it is an absolute feat of musical triumph. And if I get copy acclaimed for this video, it will be 1000% worth it.
You know what I say?
That's a good thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know why, you soon will. All right.
They look like Ricola guys.
They do. I'm gonna post the link in case you guys need this in your life after this.
This is interesting. I'm not hating this. It's different.
I fucking love this. It's weird and
If
hilarious.
you think you hate it now, wait till you listen to it.
Dude,
No, I don't think I hate it. This is interesting.
it's ridiculous, but also compelling.
It sounds like some yodely Scandinavian sort of thing.
It does. This is one of those songs that like I equally ironically love and unironically love at the same time, you know? Just wait though, because there is undeniably a just wrong note that the French horn plays. Yes, there's a French horn.
Yeah, the one wrong note.
That one was definitely supposed to be the flat, not the sharp, or the natural, not the sharp.
Oh, this is cool. This is cool.
Right? It's so weird and different and fun. Like, where else have you heard this?
Nowhere, but this is like the type of stuff that my buddy will share with us all the time.
Dude,
The weirdest shit.
so there's another 2 minutes to that
Did
song.
you really turn it off?
I look.
Okay, fair enough. It's your channel.
I also feel like that the world should go seek this out for themselves. Well, then they're gonna have to go themselves to the link that I posted for the video. And yeah, I'm actually I should make sure I post it for you, Mecha. Or literally, you can just type in "worst song ever" with 3 exclamation points. And
I don't think that's the worst song ever. I mean,
How is that
like
even
crying in the shower?
That's the thing is like I can absolutely acknowledge if you want to listen to that song and go like, oh, this song sucks, or I hate it, or it's weird, or it's too weird for me. In what universe could you make the logical argument that that is the worst song ever? There's instrumentation, there's effort, musicality. Like the guy did not ironically write that song. Let's put it that way.
No, like I think the Celine Dion song that they play in Titanic is worse because it's just one note and she croaked it out in one session. So I can't do it. There's no, that's just one note. I mean, if I look and break it down in just the waveform and I only see a flat line, you're not going to interest me. This is all over the place. This has that odd, of course. Then again, I'm the one I do meme the little kitty cat bobbing his head with the guy singing the polka song. So I've been using that quite a bit. But I like the weird obscure. Like this is one we found from Instagram that my buddy found. So we've been memeing this one. I glued my balls to my butthole again.
Wait, what? Again?
What? Again is the sticker. Here, I dropped it in the private chat.
I got it. Oh, Cat, what are you doing? Why?
He's gluing his balls to his butthole again.
This is the second time the cats have turned off the power strip. Yeah,
do they do that? They just gotta boop it. That's their game.
They just walk over and they just step on the little switch to turn
This
it off.
on, I'll take on.
It was Lana that turned it off. All right, let me see. So let's share some sound here.
Between that and the crop circle guy, I have the weirdest music stuff
on Instagram. All right, let's get some.
I don't know if this is a real song or if it's somebody made this up or it's from obscure vinyl.
Just unmute it. Stop. What is it doing to me? It's like, no, you can't unmute it. Apparently, I can't unmute it. I can only click on the unmute button. It takes me to the beginning of the bridge.
Can you click elsewhere?
Oh, that's weird.
Pauses it. Okay.
I can pause it and I can play it. And that is all I can do, apparently. Well, thanks, computer. That was bullshit.
Well, I can screen share it then.
Multimodal rounders.
You screen share it, Mecha?
Yeah. It's like, well, fine. Be that way, Instagram. I can screen share the thing. Now go to the beginning of the song. How do I go to the beginning? Go to the beginning.
Just the hard one.
There.
I put my balls to my butthole again. Oh my god, what did I do?
I need this.
Can't take it too because my balls are blocking up my butthole.
That's pretty much all there is. There's only like 30 seconds of
I need to get the name. That's gonna show up on my podcast this week.
Oh my god!
It's the again that gets you.
Maybe like the MP3, if you need to get MP3 of it, I'm going to put it in the show.
Apparently, it's called "I Glued My Balls to My Butthole." So.
I love it. I love it. It's so great. So that's just the. I think that's the origin of it. I don't know if this guy's the one who wrote it or not, but
Why is there glue in your nether regions? Is what I want to know. Like, what can you get off to with glue?
Clearly,
is this Gorilla Glue?
They were trying to hold their pubes in place and didn't read the Gorilla
Oh,
Glue
it's
label.
lube! Oh, in the second American Pie, he thinks he's got lube and it's super glue. No. And the cops come, he's like, "I'm glued." He's got a porno tape to his hand, or glued to his hand, and his dick and the other one glued shut.
Worst ways that there's the worst things that could have happened
his
with
dad
that.
catches him.
There's worse. There's still worse.
Yeah, we used that in our glue PSA that Rob and I knocked out a few weeks ago. We cut that in there. It's like, yeah, don't put Gorilla Glue in your hair, and yeah, don't glue body parts together.
That's like, it's the best part is like these ironic PSAs we can create are like actually necessary in the world
today.
Actually necessary,
right? Somebody's gonna do it.
Yep. And somebody
probably put Gorilla Glue in her hair. What was she thinking? Oh,
what the fuck was she thinking? The fact that like, we live in a world today where there were people who thought she deserved sympathy and money for being that fucking stupid. We literally live in a world where people think you deserve money for being a moron.
Money, no. I mean, I can feel sorry for her for being scared and not realizing how bad it was going to be. And I feel bad that she wasn't, didn't have the wisdom for that. But
I can feel bad for the situation. It sucks, and I don't envy anybody in that position. But at the same time, this preposterous business that Gorilla Glue, that there has to be some accountability, that she has to be a victim and there has to be some evil perpetrator. Nah, lady, you did this shit to yourself. The end.
And then some guy did it to himself again a little while later, and he's like, "Oh my god, I'm going to the hospital."
He did it. This is the shit. I was joking about hashtag Gorilla Glue Challenge, how everyone should go fucking do this shit. This guy actually did it in hashtag Gorilla Glue Challenge, and he was like, "I bet it really doesn't stick like that," and then fucking did it.
He glued a hand to his head. Talked about that on the show.
People are so stupid.
Yes, they are.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she got a free surgery, all right.
Well, I don't think they even gave her surgery though. They just had to like have her wash it out.
She came to Beverly Hills for it.
Yeah.
Just to do some it wasn't even surgery. It was like, and here, put all these put some vinegar or what. I don't even know what was in it. It was just something that she could have used like a home remedy for.
The household products because literally you can go online and find out how to dissolve this stuff with household products that won't harm your skin or not cause more than just a little bit of irritation. But clearly she was too stupid enough to not realize she shouldn't have put glue on her head in the first place. So then we can all assume that she was equally stupid enough to not realize which household products would and would not irritate her scalp. Because I think she was like rubbing acetone on her head or some shit before she went to the doctor. Will Gentry says, well, if it isn't amateur life coach. Hey, morning all. How you guys all doing? Is it rude to say better than you? I just wanted to be an asshole for a second and go better than you. But
I'm tired. Does that count?
No, actually, probably that's not true. That's probably actually not true at all. Will Gentry's in a great time of his life, getting to rediscover who he is and who he gets to be. So there are a few people who are in more, and as much as it seems weird to say, in terms of their personal growth, there are few people in a more enviable position than Will. It is not often in life you get the opportunity to essentially wipe yourself away and build it back the way that you want it to be. And it is scary and it sucks because it often means making a lot of amends for the person you were before, but it also means coming back bigger and better than before. So. Not to get too sentimental. Now Mad Libs, because that was too sentimental. Fuck everything and blah. And see all things. And I'm clearly Thanos. I'm like, I made a deep dig at the boy in rehab, and then I had to turn around and say something positive. So all things in moderation, including seriousness and hilarity. So Mad Libs o'clock it is. And while I will not reveal what it's about, because that would be cheating, Mecha, I will tell you that this one is perfect for you.
Oh no. I gotta remember what nouns are.
It's all right. You don't, because I'll remind you. So this is adult Mad Libs, and the theme is eat, drink, and be Mad Libs. That's the theme of the book. So as for the theme of the story, and don't worry if you forget parts of speech, I'll help you out with that. Anyone in the chat, you guys know, so it'll be every third word. Super chat superseded regular chat suggestions. Otherwise, everything else happens. Living chess pieces, plural noun. Somebody was on LIVIT tonight. The James Baker was there listening to the magical short stories of Kurt Vonnegut, including All the King's Horses, which is the one he's referencing. J.K. Rowling clearly stole from this for wizard chess. And Vonnegut does it way better decades earlier. So, shocking. Plural noun. Living chess pieces. Perfect.
Living
God.
dead girl.
Living dead girl. That's what I should do while I can't use my amp. I should just do like the lounge and soft rock like soft versions of all the metal shit.
Like Rob Zombie songs.
Dude, I do Living Dead Girl on the channel. I do Disturb. I do Down with the Sickness. I do Crazy Bitch. I do Number of the Beast. I do all this shit. And I do full tilt, full volume. And I don't know, apparently people in this house have a problem with that. So living chess pieces. Goodness, chat. You guys are going to fucking fill this one up before I can even get started. So you get living chess pieces. We've got, oh no, that one's just a super sticker, not a suggestion. That's fine. We can live with that. Barb Rogers, Little Miss Sunburn sends a super sticker. She sends us, let's go see what that is over here. It's the little Shiba Inu, and he's got his little headband on. He's ready to do some karate.
Little doggy.
Do whatever Richard Cheese hasn't done yet. Exactly. With the lights out, it's what's dangerous. Here we are now. Entertain us. That's a decent one. Thank you so much, Barb Rogers, Little Miss Sunburn, for the super sticker. All right, so chat, you guys are now working on an exclamation, but Mecha, you're going to start us off with a plural noun. So more of one person, place, or thing.
Plural noun. More than one person, place, or thing. Lemons.
Good call. We have a lemon tree currently.
We do.
For not much longer. Jeff, an article of clothing, plural, please.
Stockings.
Stockings. Vetoing it makes too much sense. I know you don't like it when it makes sense. Nor does anybody.
T-shirts.
I'll just stick with stockings. That's fine. Stockings is good. Stockings. This is one where it's just like it's not going to be. There's not too much hilarity to have with an article of clothing. It's far too specific for this suggestion. The temerity is our exclamation from Sweet Pea. The temerity. Hopefully, you'll get a part of the body to make up for it. Thank you for the super suggestion. This is very close to the one you said too, which is Timmer. Also a valid exclamation. It's like literally anything that you put there was just going to make too much sense.
I wasn't even reading it.
Okay.
So the Timmy joke, I don't know if we have to explain it, but that one started with they have this random crew member on Star Trek Discovery in a wheelchair for representation, despite the fact that, that wouldn't be a thing, nor does he have any way to get onto the bridge with all the stairs everywhere, nor, would he be in a starship. Just all this stuff. There wouldn't be. They didn't even name this guy, so we just named him Timmy, and Rob put the South Park Timmy sound effect.
I love it.
Because at least he has a name now. If you're gonna have a character for representation, at least give him a name.
Like really. The things South Park hit the nail on the head when they made a black character named Token. All this bullshit is token this, token that, and everyone acting like it's fucking normal. Chat, you guys get a part of the body. Sorry, you're stealing it from Jeff tonight, I guess. Not fair. Mecha, you got an adjective for us. So describing a thing.
Describing a thing. Fluffy.
Fluffy. Jeff. Animal.
Dragon.
Matt Decker's talking about the McDonald's uniforms now at McDonald's. There's McDonald's uniforms in new Star Trek now. Oh, they look terrible.
That sounds high tech and very classy.
And greasy.
Well, everyone's too distracted saying Timmer. So we're gonna need Thank you, Sleepy. Greasy sax player Tim Capello for a noun. Okay. Perfect. Greasy sax player.
I just reminded of the guy in The Lost Boys.
I'm just thinking of Duke Silver, Ron Swanson's alter ego in Parks and Rec.
I gotta say that the guy from The Lost Boys is pretty fucking epic.
That's true.
The oiled up
They had like a whole like story arc in the comics apparently for this guy.
We had
Like
the
he's
last
supposed to be
one
some
on the other
vampire
side.
hunter or something.
V. James Baker suggests vagina. Shadzar wins. My black ass. There you go. Yep. Okay, that's just happening. Thank you, Shadzar, for that wonderful suggestion. Chat, you guys are working on a noun next. Becca, you also have a noun.
Noun. I gotta think. Squirrel.
Dude, this is gonna be so
That's kind of my go-to thing. I have squirrels outside in my tree that are really, really cute, and I always take pictures of them and put them on Instagram and stuff.
I love squirrels.
Adorable.
We used to have the ones at Bennington at college that would jump into the trash cans, of course, and then get too fat to jump. You would actually get too fat to jump into the trash cans.
Oh,
There you go. Tim Capello is the sax player in the Lost Boys. There you
okay.
go, guys. Perfect. Thank you, sweet
What
pea,
an
for the super
epic,
chat.
epic pair of pants.
There you go. So now we all have the right. We all have the right image then.
I don't want that.
The only greased up sax player on the planet.
Yeah, that's the
only one. The only one for sisters for sure.
everyone else knows it's bad for your form.
Everyone's
But
like,
Joel Schumacher's like, fuck it, put it in the movie.
why the hell not?
All right, Joel, sure.
Whatever you say.
I made Batman. I made Falling Down as well. It's a good movie.
I've never seen that. But I
Ooh,
will.
it's a serious flip.
I'm down. Plural noun, see if it play.
Reptar bars.
Nice. Perfect.
I've actually eaten those. Don't they sell those at like the FYE?
Exactly. Yeah,
I've
I
always
picked them up.
wanted one.
They're still out there. Like,
Yeah.
within the last, I've known you since I.
Oh wait, maybe are they just chocolate bars?
Yeah, but there's like
There's like
something
stuff
green
in them, and
Or
yeah.
white chocolate, green white chocolate with like what crispy treats or something.
Yeah.
I might have had one back in the day, or I might have had some knockoff, like themed Rugrats. Reptar
I wonder if you
thing
got
that
one at
wasn't Reptar bar.
Universal.
No, because I never went to Universal. I got older and came out here.
I mean, like it's.
But like I would have remembered out
Oh,
here.
okay.
I would have. It's something I would have gotten really excited for if I saw it out here.
Oh Jesus! I didn't realize the FYE Reptar bar goes for $20.
Oh wow.
All right, what nouns did we have from you guys here? We had shoehorn, porg, box. Better late than never to this party. Damn straight, Eric Black. And Eric Black, I'm gonna take box from you. I'm gonna take box. Why not?
You ought to know.
All right, so chat, you guys are gonna work on a noun again. So keep them coming. Keep those nouns a coming. Mecha, you got a color, any color of your choice.
Pink. Because it's the first one I saw. Is that sad? I saw Eric Black's name and I saw that the E is pink, but I could have chose black.
I'll accept it. I'll accept
Hey,
your
to
rationale.
Monkey Jeebus, if you need a tag partner to beat up Corey Feldman, call Nick from the show. He hates him.
Oh, why?
Corey Feldman's a dick in real life.
Yeah, kind of.
Adverb.
A verb?
Adverb.
Oh, adverb. Okay, I thought you were like adverb.
Adverb.
French.
Adverb.
How about fuckily?
Fuckily. That's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, it's all fuckily.
All right. Well, last suggestion for the night comes from our gal Emily. Thank you for the super chat. Joe Biden's brain.
Wow, I was gonna make something. This doesn't really mean.
He's your celebrity crush, right, Emily? You love him, right? He's like your favorite person ever.
Oh, dude, I saw a meme today. It was amazing. It was a picture of Joe Biden or whatever he did on TV. And it says, "My least favorite Grandpa Joe."
Oh,
I personally don't have any problems with Joe Biden. He's just another innocuous as innocuous as politicians can be. But Emily despises him with a burning fiery vitriol, which I think is hilarious. So
Sweet Pea have a brick shithouse in her backyard. Is that like a literal brick shithouse or a really well-built woman?
I don't know.
What's her name?
You're gonna have to. Sorry, chat. Though Emily did swoop in and steal the last suggestion, but Mecha's got an adjective. We got two more from our lovely guests. So Mecha's got one more each from our lovely guests.
one more adjective.
Final word.
That's a descriptive noun.
Yep, and feel free to be creative with your grammar.
Hey, don't scratch me.
Pungent.
I like it.
Oh, come here.
I'm actually going to veto because it might make too much sense.
Okay.
I look at this. I look at it sometimes. I'm like, no, that makes really good sense there. No. We can't have things that make sense. They're not.
All right. Loudly.
I like loud. Loud is good. Yeah, loud will work.
Okay.
Loud will be great.
I'm gonna pick one out, pull it out of my butt, huh?
It's because pungents normally would be a really, really good one, but I was like, god damn it, it works. It just makes too much sense. All right, Jeff, a verb ending in ing.
Fucking.
Okay, so we this is our delicious recipe for our dinner party. The secret is in the blank.
I know what I'm ready to eat.
Well, when I have important lemons over for a soiree, I always whip up my signature dish. I know it's sure to knock their stockings off and have them yelling, "The temerity!" at the dinner table. To make this fluffy recipe, you will need the following. 1 whole dragon with my black ass removed.
Yes.
Shit, no. Oh, no. I'll have to call an audible because I missed a blank, but I'm so bad. 3 cups of piss. 2 fresh living chess pieces washed and peeled. Those are human beings for context. Those are just people that are washed and peeled. 4 large eggs beaten with greasy sax player Tim Capello. 1 small container of grated squirrel cheese.
What is squirrel cheese?
Seasoned meat with salt and Reptar bars. Put it in the box. Roast at 450 degrees until light pink. In a saucepan, mix the remaining ingredients fuckily. Occasionally stopping to add a pinch of Joe Biden's brain if needed. Pour over the dish and garnish with loud herbs. Watch your guests fucking in delight and congratulate yourself on a job well done.
Ashwagandha, yo.
Dude, that was
fucking in delight.
That was magical. If I had to pick a favorite, it's got to be it's got to be 1 whole dragon with my black ass removed. The 4 eggs beaten with greasy sax player Tim Capello was a close second.
They're gonna pinch of Joe Biden's brain. It's
That
pretty
was
funny
accurate.
too.
Fucking other pinch. Usually a pinch of Joe Biden's brain is needed. I'm now just trying to decide if this means that you need greasy sax player Tim Capello to beat your eggs for you.
Or you're just grabbing him by his feet and then using like the top.
With my fucking hair.
Or if you're just mixing the eggs up with his body.
As a wire whisk.
There's 3 options here. There's his body cool.
Yeah.
He's beating the eggs for you, or his body is an ingredient that you're combining with the eggs. That's the other choice. So there's a lot of choices here. There are many creative ways in which we could be using greasy sax.
Tim
Capello.
Because I don't know who Tom is.
Tim Capello. There you go.
Meanwhile, they're describing on how you would milk a squirrel.
That's what I've been reading in the chat.
I've got nipples, Jack. Can you milk me?
Well, all right, Gaylord.
Thanks, Falker.
You're welcome. Operation Kosamui. The Circle of Trust.
God, the fucking Circle of Trust. And with that, that's going to take us to the end of our show.
Jack tie very well.
Always does. Mecha, thank you. I'm sure we deliver. I know somebody was really excited to see Mecha's contribution to Mad Libs, and I know we delivered. There was like 1 week I had like Andy Signora on or something. It was like cool and all this shit, and the Mad Libs was like the biggest fucking dud. And I was like, well, better luck next week, kids.
I'm usually good at pulling weird, obscure shit out of my ass. So.
I mean, you do have random right in your name, so it's sort of
random words that might. See, pungent's one of those words that you can always go to in a Mad Lib that usually doesn't make sense.
Usually doesn't. Usually it's going to be a pretty much knock it out of the park one, except when we happen to be writing a recipe.
We should make a recipe for dinner tonight. We should figure out what we're gonna have.
Some pungent dragon with the black ass removed.
I need my dragon with black ass.
Okay, full black ass on Jeff's dragon.
Who's milking the squirrels?
Exactly. I'll milk the squirrels to get the squirrel cheese.
It's gonna take forever. They're so tiny. You want to earn your keep?
Squirrels, just go milk them. Just go do it. Where the hell
She Pancake go?
DJ's Baker says, thank you, Jeff, for loaning out Mecha. We joked earlier. Thank you so much indeed, Jeff, for I know
need to
it was
thank
all
me for
as if
anything.
you had so much to do with allowing this to happen.
Well, we just had a weird sexy high council this week, so it was
what a weird one. What a shitty one we're not gonna miss though. You're all talking about sex toys and crap.
Anna was going hard for this shit. I've never
Somebody actually sent me a sex toy from that night that Mary and I were talking about getting sex toys in our PO box.
Oh my god.
I respect that.
Mecha, thank you for taking it off the High Council to join us and to grace my humble little show. It was such a blast getting to catch up with you, getting to stream with you again, getting to do all this, getting to hang out. I love your shirt, by the way. I like keep looking. So cute. What I do, I'm like, let's spend 2.5 hours talking. I'll just tell you right at the fucking end.
Can I cook your pork?
We were talking about that earlier about how delicious it was.
I haven't had dinner yet, so cooked pork sounds amazing.
They're all food. I don't know. He's more of an appetizer, though. He's like a pork nugget.
Dude, we got to get the show back. Look at Eric Black, pancake voice. I know that signature voice like Donald Duck or Bugs Bunny. Yeah. Oh, that's actually fair. Before we go, we can't let you go without saying hi to the pancake.
Kitty.
Yeah, pancake, come say hi to Mecha Random. She's like one of your biggest fans, and you only have like 3, so you gotta take.
He doesn't.
Don't run away. You gotta take it where you got him. All right, come on.
He's a diva.
Come on, Chucky. Let's go say hi to Mecha.
Come on, buddy. You never fight.
No, okay. Hi, Mecha. I hear you like mongooses. Mongooses.
Oh.
Macaroni Ryan.
He's like, why am I being held?
I'd probably play with your hair because it's really long and I like hair. But I'm a little grumpy because nobody paid my $5 appearance fee and I'm being forced to appear against my will, even though I'm told it's a favor for you and you're nice. You should do it first. But I still feel like I'm being taken advantage of.
You are pancake.
I'm always being taken advantage of. But
yeah, just get a good night's rest tonight, buddy, and we'll be happy.
Well, I'll try, but I'll get a good night's rest and I'll wake up at 5 o'clock and we'll go for some exercise, right, Papa?
No, 5 p.m.
In the morning.
In the night.
The sun comes up.
The sun will be out at 5 p.m. still, don't worry.
Oh, but I have to have breakfast before that.
No, you don't. You have dinner around that time.
But I'll die if I don't have breakfast.
It's a risk I'm willing to take.
But I'm not. Stuff I deal with.
Yeah, this is what I deal with. Ah, shit, pancake, no.
What? Why'd you yell at me?
It's like, I'm just trying to wake you up.
So I can have food. He's like dead inside right now. He's like, I'm not your puppet. Please let me go. Okay. He's too good to actually fight it, but he just sits there like,
Go boy.
He didn't give him blinkies. He didn't seem to mind.
Pancake and Jane don't actually know that I'm not their biological mother, so I get away with a lot with them. Final super chat of the night. The Jury Nitpicker says, after the ship blows over, I so want to go drinking with you guys.
Damn right.
You guys have a good night, and thanks for the entertainment. Thank you, Jury Nitpicker.
Cheers to you,
well,
sir.
We were talking about making an appearance down in Vegas sometime in August. So, if that's the case, if we can I'll try to get together again like we were supposed to.
Celebrate our anniversary.
Last year, that'd be great. I'd love to do that. Like we intended before. But Becca, any last plugs, any last things you want people to know before we say goodnight for the
Watch my videos. I've got a new Brie Larson one. I've got, what else do I have? I don't remember. I've released a couple today. Got a couple more coming later. Couple tomorrow in the hopper. So yay.
And then make sure you check out Mecha on Twitch, on Twitter. All those links, including that in YouTube, are posted in the description below. If you haven't checked out her videos yet, you're going to love her takes. If you enjoyed her tonight, you definitely will. And if you already know her, which most of you probably do, well, thank her again for coming on. Jeff, anything you want to say since you're
Thanks for having me. Back stealing solo. Mecha's on the cover, and you can get a Mecha random magnet. She was the second magnet. It's voted on by you guys. So, everyone's going to get a copy of that when you get a copy of the book.
Those of you checked out the thumbnails, those are my magnet and Mecha's magnet. Those are those pictures that you guys saw right there. So, and don't forget to pay her tree fitty since, in case he's not around. There you go. All right. Well, all that's well and good. So don't forget to remove the black ass from your dragon before you cook it. And God Empress out.